None of you seem to understand. I'm not locked in here with you.
That's it! You're locked in here with me!
You lousy corksuckers.
All right, what is it? Is it Sunday? Sunday already? What's happening? So I guess it's the Sunday night Radio Baloney Live. I'm your host, Richie Baloney. It looks like we got some folks already in the chat. We got Spambot, we got Turtles, Rosie's in there, Danny's over on YouTube. Good to see you guys. So look at this. Spambot got the first like. Now guess what? Guess what? Because everybody knows that we're on YouTube, we're on Rumble, we're on X, we're on Locals, all at the same time. But every time you like the stream, you get a free dose of good karma from me because I build it up. I think it's because I attack and make fun of Mark Carney so much, and nature hates Mark Carney, so it rewards me with good karma. So I had so much good karma before I started the stream. I realized I saw Spambot got the first like. Now the first like gets double. Normally it's double good karma. You could actually get 8 if you got the first like on all of the streams at the same time. That's pretty amazing. And in these troubled times, obviously that could come in handy. But I decided I had so much good karma, I had to get rid of a bunch. If I don't get rid of it, it's bad karma. I can't keep it all for myself. So I decided to go quadruple. Seriously, quadruple good karma for Spambot. That's 4 good karmas in one shot. I mean, that's unbelievable, right? But there's so much good karma because I make fun of Mark Carney so much, and I'm going to be earning a bunch in this stream. Trust me. Turtles got second, so I guess that we're going to go, that's double. So now second is now double. Normally that's only 1.5, but that's double now. Who got number 3? I don't know. Whoever got number 3, that's 1.5 good karmas for you, my friend. 1.5 worth every penny. Let's see what's going on. What are you guys talking about? Let's see. Turtles is driving and listening to the show. That's wonderful. Turtle says Balonians have good genes. Good genes we do. And we mean that in the total Nazi way. Just kidding. You can't say anything these days. You just can't. You can't even have a good time. Let's see. Rosie says, my genes are the best. All Balonians' genes are. It's true. That's true. Let's see. Spambot says, it's a long weekend and I had to work both yesterday and today. Super lame. You guys agree with that, don't you, folks? Super lame. No good, but we're glad you made it. And what's going on? And then there's a dancing guy in the, I don't know who that is, in the chat. That's very nice. We like that. And what else is going on? Okay, hold on. Danny Ringus says, is it true Canada wants to join the European Union? There is an attempt to manipulate and influence Canadians into saying that they want to join the European Union. Most Canadians have absolutely no idea what that means. But they elected Mark Carney, right? So there's enough Canadians to elect Mark Carney. Maybe they'd be stupid enough to go along with something as just as brain dead and idiotic and suicidal as joining the crumbling European Union, the basket case, which is the European Union. I don't know. And the question is, would Europe even want us? That's the thing. It has been noted that Canada's not actually in Europe, so that's a thing. Let's see. Spambot says it's all overtime, so I'm not going to complain about it too much. Fantastic stuff. Until the tax man steals it. Well, he is. Unfortunately, it's Canada. Let's see. Turtle says, going into 11 days straight. Yikes. That's no good. That's not fair. Rosie says, the tax man is a dog. The tax man is a, hold on.
You lousy corksuckers.
I think it's something we can all get behind, don't you think? I better get some more, I better get some caffeine. Hold on. Yum. I have a headache, so let's see how this goes. Let's see how this goes. And we have all kinds of beautiful new ads to read tonight as soon as enough people come in. It should be very fun. Looking forward to that. And anything else? All right. So let's do the menu. Then I'll head back to the chat if there's anything happening there. And then we'll get into the stories for our Sunday night. I think first we're going to do some memes. So these are very funny. Some classics here. There's a whole bunch of these JD Vance ones, and I love them. I love them. I don't know why it's so funny, but it's hilarious. World Economic Forum, the World Economic Forum. Klaus Schwab penetrating the cabinets. Speaking of the World Economic Forum, German politician Olaf Scholz denounces Elon Musk. Of course he does. He hates free speech. Just wait till you get a load of what this awful globalist dingbat is coming out with. It's just terrible. Let's see. Canada, it's just a... Yeah, so we're going to be... The future of Canada is factory-built modular apartment buildings and shipping containers. That's the future of Canadian housing, so we'll get into that. Things are not going well. Here's Mark Carney at the Pride Festival and the Pride Parade in Vancouver. So this is the state of Canada. The state of Canada. Who did it better? This guy or that guy? Because I always said you'd never seen anybody as happy, as thrilled, as euphoric at a Pride event as Justin Trudeau. I was always shocked he didn't take his pride flag and just shove it up his ass. Who did it better? I think Carney's gone that extra mile now. I think he's gone that extra mile. Let's say, and just woke Canada stuff, stupid Canada stuff, immigration, Canadian immigration. It's just really not going well. Everything's not going well. Canada, there seems to be a major push. You keep seeing these polls coming out. I tell you that nothing is grassroots, at least not in Canada, right? And nothing leftist actually ever anywhere is grassroots. It's always top down now. It's always pushed down, right? It's just pushed out through whoever's teleprompter on whatever evening news onto the public. And that's how these things get popularized. There was no grassroots movements of Canadians to join the EU. The crumbling basket case that's the EU. I find it highly suspicious. We get all these polls. Are we stupid enough? Well, we did elect the Liberals in for a fourth term. So maybe. I thought we'd take a little bit of a look into how Islam in Canada is going, how the integration is going. And I mean, I guess if Canada integrating into Islam, I guess then it's going great. But I don't think that's how most people mean it, actually. I mean, Mark Carney's quite happy about it. So I guess that's all that matters. Let's see. There's a bit more on Sydney Sweeney. Now their heads are... The green-haired goblins, their heads are really going to explode. Yes, she likes to shoot. And I mean, they are going to want to have her banned from the earth. They're going to want to send her on a rocket ship to the moon or something. They're just not going to appreciate this. That's what I'm saying. Because she can defend herself as well. On top of everything else, on top of that rack, she can defend herself as well, which I approve of, quite frankly. Let's see. The UK, I keep saying that it is just moving further and further towards 1984 to just becoming an authoritarian hellhole, and it does. So I keep saying it's doing that, and then it does that, which is weird and terrifying. And then, of course, we have the last one where we've got a bunch of stuff. This is the last tab. It's a mishmash of a bunch of crazy stuff. Like terrifying stuff like tsunamis hitting the coast of Russia, which we were going to watch, but you're going to have to wait to see that because otherwise I don't want you to leave. And Macron, the Macrons dropped the case against Candace Owens. I thought she was screwed. I guess it's, I mean, I said she's not a man. She's just a dried up monkey. And maybe, I don't know. I mean, she dropped the case. I mean, I guess it wasn't a slam dunk. So very interesting. On the UK, on the topic of the UK, we'll get to see what it was like in 1985 and what it's like today. And yeah, scary. I would say scary. Lots of funny stuff. We're having a good time. I wanted you guys to see this. Konstantin Kisin here, defending Western civilization. I think it's really important. That's how it's done. There's Rachel Maddow lying and lying and lying and lying. I just thought this was a good refresher. See how they lie. There's Savannah Hernandez there, and there's a bunch of stuff. Eddie Murphy. Some of this we might actually save for the premium only stream tomorrow. So we'll just have to see what happens. As I said, I've got a headache. I don't know how long we're going to go. Anyway, you can practice your golf swing for a second. Let's see what's going on. It's going into the chat, and then we'll get started. Let's see. Turtles makes a great point here. This is really important here. It says simply, True Gina. True Gina, they call him True Gina, our friend in Canada. He's a man, but they say that he's also mostly vagina, which is not nice. It's not a nice thing. Not nice. True Gina. Yes, True Gina. You will never see anybody happier at a Pride event than True Gina. Spambot says, I'm surprised he wasn't elbows up, knees down in that photo. It's the state of Canada, right? It's just the pathetic state of Canada, where just the prime ministers just they don't even need to have dignity anymore, right? To just, like some stoicism and just the slightest bit of dignity. And I just, it's baffling to me how this happened. Of course, everybody who voted for him loves it. Rosie says, True Gina and a sick flag. Yuck, yuck. The American gays are much better. Beautiful, beautiful American gays. Not like True Gina, Canadian gay. Let's see. Denny Ringus says, our government is an embarrassment. I would encourage you to use even stronger words than that, Danny. You can use even stronger words than that in my chat. What else is going on? Rosie says, nice shooting, Miss Sweeney. Yep. She couldn't be any more perfect, could she? Let's see. Rosie says, most gender reveals are much more exciting, like it's a boy. Let's see. All right, Denringa says, I miss the old Canada. We all do. We all miss the old Canada. And, it's never really coming back is the thing, unfortunately. Canada may be lost, too, right? I'm not black-pilled, but I have to admit, I mean, it may just have turned into California now. Like, there is no low. No low is too low, right? In San Francisco, no low is too low. They can always go lower, right? So whatever happens, they can just say, well, we didn't go far left and insane enough. We're still too sane. That's why everything is terrible. I worry that Canada has turned into that, or at least Eastern Canada. So, I mean, the hope would be, even if Canada is just lost now, it's just turned into New York City or LA or San Francisco. The West could split off. It could. I mean, this can actually happen. You don't need a civil war. You don't need a revolution or something for it to happen. Like there's a legal framework for it to happen. It's not actually that difficult. So the West could split off, if that's the case. I hope that's not the case, because I would like Canada to stay together. But I mean, you look at the Maritimes, you look at Quebec, Ontario. I don't know. They might just, I get it, just might be New York or LA or San Francisco or something, or Chicago at this point. And there is no learning, right? It's just off the cliff. They won't be happy until they go completely off the cliff. All right. So I guess we'll get to it. So let's look at the memes first. So this is just a classic. This may be my favorite one of all time. Chris Barber, Big Red, Freedom Convoy, persecuted by the Canadian government, posted this. Real leaders lead. All this clown did was divide. Well, it is true. He just saw a political opportunity to divide the country, and he took it. And it was evil. He's a very bad human being, Justin Trudeau. Show us where the fringe minority hurt you, Justin. Right there in my mangina. Right there in my mangina. It's perfect. It's so perfect. It couldn't be any more perfect. I think this is my favorite meme of all time. Right there in my mangina. It's good. It works because it's Justin Trudeau. So let's take a look at some of these JD Vance things. I think these are hilarious. I love them. I don't know why. It just works. It works for some reason. I think the left is very confused by these because they're like, well, wait a second. I thought you liked JD Vance. It's like, no, we do. It's just that we're not like, we can look at things and laugh at them. We can laugh at something that's just funny and silly. Like we still have a sense of silliness now, that the left has long since lost. Really, the left has just lost its sense of humor is the thing. And they're confused that that whatever is not them hasn't. So this one, I don't know, they're just weird, right? Look at all of these. I find them funny. Look at this one. It doesn't even really make sense. It's just funny. There he is there. And they're all so good. Like the quality of them is so good. There, look at that. They're both JD Vance. Look at this. I don't know. I get a kick out of it. All JD Vances. I believe that's supposed to be Ringo Starr, but it's actually JD Vance. That's Thomas the Tank Engine. Let's see. There he is again. My favorite one's coming up, though. My favorite one is coming up. The all JD Vance Van Halen. The all JD Vance Van Halen. There's JD Van Halen and JD Roth and JD Michaels and JD Van Halen again. There's something about this that's just kind of sublime to me. I don't know why, but it really, really amuses me 1,000%. And all JD Vance Van Halen. Why can't that be real? I wish that could be real. Maybe when cloning becomes a thing, they can do that. There we go again. Again, an all JD Vance Van Halen. I love it. What's this one here? I don't know. What's that one from? I don't remember. Let's see. There's JD and JD's Big Adventure. I like this one a lot. Let's see. I'm not saying it's JD Vance, but it's definitely JD Vance. I don't think I've even looked at all of these. Is there something in here? JD, what's going on here? Let's watch this. Actually, hold on. I don't want to because I'll probably get copyrighted on that. There's JD Vance Ryder. That's a good one, too. I don't know. I just find them funny. I could look at those all day. This is a good one here. World leaders with their dogs. So there's Putin with his dog there, and there's ooh, that's rough. That is rough. Ooh, G with his dog. Ooh, because he's eating it. Ooh. That one was mean. Let's see. All right. Let's move on. Let's get back to the chat for a second, and then we'll move on with our stories. All right. Spambot says Canada hasn't gone too far yet. Only when Ontarians and Quebecois start mass rioting will Canada start on the path to leaving the Crown Protectorate. Well, I think that there's good. I mean, if things keep going the way that they are, there's going to be a rocky future for Canada, no question. I mean, at some point, people are going to notice that they're not in a first world country anymore, and that's going to make them angry. Let's see. Rosie says, too funny, all JD Vance Van Halen. I know, that's my favorite one. I love that one. Let's go back and look at it again. Something about it just makes me happy. The all JD Vance Van Halen is by far the best one. There's something really wonderful about it. It's all JD Vance's. JD Vance on drums, JD Vance on bass, JD Vance on guitar, JD Vance on vocals. I don't know. It just makes me happy. It just makes me happy. I wish that was real. And see, Spambot says the president of Haiti would also be he would give the his dog the same treatment as the chairman of the Communist Party in China. Gee. Spambot says Canadians haven't reached fuck it yet. Well, a lot have. A lot have. Vance Halen. Ah, yes, Vance Halen. Vance Halen. How did that escape me? Vance Halen. Very nicely done. Well played, Rosie. Well played. All right. Let's move on. So, does the WEF ever get more evil? It's like the lair for like all of like the supervillains in the world. So here we have, speaking at the World Economic Forum, German politician Olaf Scholz denounces Elon Musk. That evil Elon Musk. Why would he think Elon Musk is so evil? Because, he bought Twitter and then made it much more friendly and then made it much more. Why would the World Economic Forum and Olaf Scholz think that Elon Musk is evil? Is it simply because he bought Twitter, turned it into X, and then made a free speech much more free on X? Is that why? Yes, that's why. He hates free speech. Let's watch this.
On the question of the dealing of Elon Musk, I had a lot of things to comment in the past because he was discussing a lot about Europe. And just to repeat what I already said, we have the freedom of speech in Europe, and in Germany, everyone can say what he wants, even if he is a billionaire. And what we do not accept is if this is supporting extreme right positions. And that is what I would like to repeat again.
Oh, well, hold on a second. Wait a second. He said that he supports free speech for everybody, but then he said something else. Hold on. Let's hear that again. Wait a second.
About Europe. And just to repeat what I already said, we have the freedom of speech in Europe, and in Germany, everyone can say what he wants, even if he is a billionaire. And what we do not accept is if this is supporting extreme right positions. And that is what I would like to.
So no free speech then. So what you mean to say is there's no free speech in Germany. By the way, why don't we ever hear about their concern on far left issues? Far left, because far left has been responsible for an enormous amount of human misery. It's been essentially a disaster for humanity, for human well-being. I mean, let's take a look at 20th century history, right? I don't know, it's like 120 million people who left this earth far too early and unnecessarily because of far left policies, far left governments. Like communism just didn't work out great. Just like it was a big mistake. Like Soviet Union, not even there anymore. How about that? So why don't we ever hear about this far left extremist stuff? Isn't that weird? And by the way, who's deciding what's far right? I guess it must be Olaf Scholz. I guess so. I guess he gets together with all of his other world leader friends, globalist world leader friends at the World Economic Forum, and they decide together. And it seems to be, I mean, maybe I'm going out on a limb here, but it seems to be their definition of far right is anything that they disagree with or anything that would threaten their power, their stranglehold over their populations. That seems to be what they mean. But I do feel that it needs to be said that what he just described there is an environment where nobody actually has free speech if they disagree with him. Because you know what? In totalitarian regimes, yes, you have the freedom to say whatever the regime, whatever the government agrees with, whatever they allow you to say, you're free to say that. But that's not actually free speech, right? That's totalitarianism. If you punish the people who say the things that you disagree with, it's not free speech. And it's weird. Does he not understand this, the incoherence of his statement? Does he just assume that the world, outside of him and his globalist buddies, that the world is just too stupid to stop and say, hold on a second, I think you just described the opposite of free speech? It's baffling to me. I mean, I don't know. What do you guys think? That doesn't sound like free speech to me. That sounds to me like there are certain things you can say and certain things you can't, depending on how he feels about it. What do they say underneath? Elon Musk says clown. Yeah, it is clownish. Understatement of the century. Dr. Philip Cochin says retard or puppet. I'd say the latter because no one can be that stupid and be able to complete a sentence. Well, this is it. But what it betrays is the total lack of respect and the total disdain for the people that he's addressing. Actually, not even what it betrays is his total lack of respect and disdain for his own citizens, for the people that he has a stranglehold on. Alberta Leonidas says, so he is a commie. He's a globalist. He's a globalist. And he doesn't have a problem with far left extremism, apparently. Said the people with extreme left positions. Exactly. From Johnny Anderson asked, did any journalist ask Scholz to elaborate on what extreme right positions really are? Well, they keep it nice and vague. I would assume, however, that the definition is something along these lines. Criticism of immigration, especially when voiced by populist movements such as AfD in Germany, Le Pen. Yeah, that's exactly what it comes down to. Opposition to their policies, which are far left. All right. So, anyway, that's just insanity. There's just a bit of insanity for you. Something to make you gnash your teeth. Let's see. Charlene, how you doing over on YouTube there? By the way, anybody watching anywhere that's not on Rumble, the chat you see on the screen, like 99% of that normally is all from Rumble, from the Rumble community. So I would, anybody who wants to be involved in, pretty lively chat, join us on Rumble, because that's where most of the fun happens. Let's see. But of course, appreciate everybody on whatever platform. Charlene says, I am Canadian, never be EU. Carney, goodbye. Not a fan, as I hate liars. I like that. I think Charlene nailed it right there. Nailed it. The whole EU thing is just, it's beyond lunacy, but we'll get to that in good time. We shall get to that in good time. All right. Let's move on. So what's happening? Riley Donovan posted this. Canada went from single-family homes to factory-built modular apartment buildings in one generation, thanks to mass immigration. I've said this before on the channel. It seems to have escaped notice of a lot of Canadians, particularly Liberal voters, that Canada is now a different country. I think in some ways, I don't think you can even call us a first world country anymore. I mean, when you go from 2015, when Trudeau took over the country, disastrously, but in 2015, when the national disaster of a Justin Trudeau prime ministership happened, if you were like a young couple in Canada, say you're like a young couple, maybe you're 25, maybe you're 30, and you wanted to start a family, you wanted to buy a house, you didn't need a big mansion, just a little place, a yard in the back for the kid and the dog to run around. It was harder than it used to be, but it was still doable. You could still do it. Like, you didn't have to be in the middle of nowhere, a small town or something. In 10 years, that dream just disappeared. I mean, in some small, smaller areas, in some, rural areas, you could still do it. There are some smaller cities you could still do it. But, the major cities in Canada, no, done, over, gone. And even in small towns, it was impossible. Not to mention the fact that the economy went into the toilet, GDP per capita into the toilet, in constant decline. It's just simply going to get worse under Trudeau. But that dream died in Canada. That died. So when you have young people, just simply cannot, unless they're getting money from their families, right? Unless they're, they've done incredibly well. But that dream is dead for the vast majority of young people in Canada. Gone. Like that, it's a different country now. It's not the same country. That happened in under a decade. That's how fast that these far leftists, these radical leftists, can wreck your country. If you just hand them the keys and they will wreck your country. The Liberal Party of Canada is not your grandfather's Liberal Party. It's not even your father's Liberal Party. It's something else. It's not liberal. It's illiberal. It's a radical leftist party now that loves and loves and loves and can never get enough of mass immigration. And this is what we have. It's a different country now. That happened in 10 years. 10 years, that dream of the young family is gone. Let's take a look at this.
Boxes built in an automated factory and assembled right here on site, kind of like a Lego project. This modular apartment building aims to address the issue of housing affordability in Calgary. Here's how it works. Apartment boxes are constructed in an automated factory in Calgary. The modules are then transported on trucks and assembled right on site. The process is efficient with time and money.
Every block you see somebody sleeping, and it's proven if people have a safe place to live, their motivation goes up.
This 6-story modular building in downtown is a partnership between Atco Structures and Attainable Homes Calgary, a nonprofit created and owned by the City of Calgary.
So it's up to us to investigate what the best techniques are, de-risking the process.
Nobody wants to start a family in that. The modular apartment building. Nobody wants to start a family in that. Besides, you won't be able to buy them anyway. They'll be rented to you from Brookfield or some other company associated with Mark Carney. Nobody wants to start their new life in that. This is not offering hope. This is awful. This is just offering decline. This is just offering misery, hopelessness to Canadians. I mean, it's really, in my mind, a tragedy. And besides, young Canadians won't be able to move into those anyway, because those are for the millions and millions and millions of people that the Liberals are bringing into they have been bringing into Canada, and they continue to bring in. This year, we're on par for 2 million more with Carney. So, yeah, just everything Carney said on the campaign trail, by the way, to win the election, none of that's happening. By the way, there were some of us that were warning about that, who predicted all of this. Let's continue.
And we've found in the partnership with ATCO and what we're able to do here is a very, very successful way to do it.
We can crane all the modules into place in 10 days, which is a very fast pace in a highly densified area with very little impact for waste, materials, traffic, and personnel on the project site, because it's all delivered off-site.
They broke ground on this project in April and aim to be fully completed by December. The pace and method of construction have raised questions about safety and reliability for some Calgarians.
So they killed the Canadian dream in 10 years, right? And now here's their solution. Just putting the final nail in it. This is their solution. So again, they caused a housing crisis by recklessly, heedlessly, insanely, criminally flooding the country with people that we simply couldn't ignore, with no planning. And now their solution to that is this. This is their solution. Canada's just going to just have a low standard of living forever. That's our solution, Canada. But don't vote for the Conservatives, because they're mean. They're mean. Didn't you see Pierre Poilievre was mean to a reporter once? It's madness. It's so incredibly frustrating to see it happen, to see so many people just base their future on what comes out of Rosemary Barton's teleprompter. It's shocking. What are people saying? Modular is just a construction technique, and it's actually really beneficial for Canada. Really? So this is the future of Canada. Everybody lives in boxes. Everybody lives in shipping containers. Unfortunately, there's too much of this in Canada. And that's what frightens me. Mike says, keep voting Liberal and you'll be eating and living in dumpsters. Dumb fucks. I'm telling you, there's probably half the country, will thank the government for their $3,000 a month dumpsters that they're going to provide for Canadians to live in. But, these modular homes and these, modular apartment buildings, they're not going to be for Canadians anyway. This is all for the millions of people that are going to be brought in accordance with the Century Initiative, the founder of which, the co-founder of which is a top advisor for Carney now. So it's not going to be, if you're a Canadian and you can't wait to move into your shipping container, you're not going to be. It's going to be somebody who got here 15 minutes ago and who will either immediately go and work at Tim Hortons or just go on benefits for life. So anyway, that's bad. That's just really bad. Just really bad. So just use the word Canada. Just say the word Canada, and then it's really bad. That's all you need to say now. That's all I need. This whole stream, whenever I cover Canada, which is, a large part of it because I'm in Canada, I just need to show you this. Just need to show you this and say, Canada, yeah, it's really bad. Just any question, it's really bad. Yeah, it's really bad. Is there any hope? Take a look at this picture. No. It's really bad. Yeah, gonna get worse. This is the button down, this is the banker, the businessman, the guy who knows how the world works, and the brilliant negotiator who has achieved absolutely nothing other than just pissing off the person across the table. He spends a lot of time flying around, going on vacation, and apparently just hanging out with naked men in public. Now, so great. This is real, by the way. This is real. This is at Vancouver Pride Parade. So at least the prime minister doesn't have any dignity, right? At least oh, wait a second. That's bad as well. That's also bad. So it's, yeah. Canada, how's it going? It's just all bad. It's bad. How's it going in Canada? It's bad. Really bad. That's it. You don't need anything else. Rosie says, we build Lego structures here. I do not want to live in one. Well, maybe that's next. Lego houses. All right. Wonder if I can do an ad. That'd be fun. But the crowd is a little low. It's really low for some reason today. I don't know why. What's everybody doing? Is everybody partying on the long weekend? All the Canadians? I don't know. We'll just keep going, though. All right. We had a good crowd the last stream on that Friday, but it's a little light tonight, but it doesn't matter. So anyway, Canadian PM Carney at the Vancouver Pride event today. This is from Wokeness. Yes, this is real. I checked it. It's actually real. This is what the Prime Minister is doing. And now apparently he keeps telling us, he's been telling us for months that this is the greatest crisis since World War II for Canada. Canada is now in the greatest crisis since World War II. And what does any responsible, any good world leader, any powerful, any strong world leader do in that time? They go out and hang out with naked men on the street. That's what they do. Churchill, right? Churchill. There's so many photos of Churchill, during the Blitz, hanging out with naked men in London on the streets, photographed with naked men. How is the United States, how is Trump supposed to, Howard Lutnick, Basant, any of these people, how are they supposed to take us seriously again? Who even Macron or Keir Starmer would be embarrassed by this. Even they wouldn't let this picture be taken of themselves. How is anybody supposed to take Canada seriously? Please, somebody explain this to me. This is what's going to make Canada the strongest economy in the G7? Really? I kind of feel like not. I kind of feel like it's been failure, nothing. Mark Carney hanging out with a naked man on the street in Vancouver. That's his record so far. So what has Mark Carney actually done? How did he do with the trade talks? Total failure. Let's see. I think that there's 5 countries that have a worse trade deal than Canada right now. Worse tariffs out of, 150 countries? So terrible on that. Well, what about national projects and that? Nope, nothing. Anything proposed? Nope, nothing proposed. He's done nothing. Well, how's your budget looking? Oh, we don't have one. No, we sent everybody home for the summer. And so we have no idea, except the parliamentary budget officer tells us that the deficit's going to be huge and it's going to be a major problem. Oh, and Canadian companies are fleeing down south. So there's that as well. But has he... Yeah, okay, so he's failed on all those things. But has he hung out with a naked man on the streets of Vancouver and been photographed doing that? Well, he has done that. He has achieved that. This is his greatest accomplishment so far. You know what the weird thing is, too, is that the people who voted for him will actually like this. They'll actually like it. That's why I voted for Mark Carney. Hanging out with naked men in Vancouver, on the streets of Vancouver. That's what we voted for him for. This will show Trump. Boy, Trump's really going to be mad when he sees this. It's really going to get Trump's goat. They must just be laughing. Right? Trump is probably sitting in the Oval Office right now. Somebody shows this picture, and he probably just laughs his head off. He goes, I can't believe that the Canadians voted for this guy. Like I said, I like this Carney guy. I think he's great, this Carney guy. Why didn't you vote for him? And then they voted for him. I can't believe they did that. They're so dumb. and not the smartest people up in Canada. Not that bright. I mean, it is a funny thing, too. Trump literally told Canadians to vote for this guy. And to spite Trump, that evil orange man, they voted for the guy Trump told them to vote for. I don't know. Izzy, how you doing? Good to see you. Like number 6. Well, like number 6 tonight, that counts for 1.05 good karmas. There you go. An extra 0.05, my friend. By the way, if you're not subscribed to the channel, subscribe to the channel. It's very important. Everybody's doing it. It's a very important thing. Also, liking the stream is a big deal. Everybody's doing that. It's very popular in Hollywood right now, as a matter of fact, I think. Pedro Pascal. I don't know. I mean, I don't know this for sure, but I heard a rumor he liked this stream as well. Although Pedro Pascal likes every single stream, so, it doesn't count for much. Anyway, let's see. Rosie says, just wondering, where is Carney's right hand arm? You don't want to know. You don't want to know. Let's just not even think about that. How's Canada doing? Not great. Not great. How's the Prime Minister? Not good. Not good. So, I mean, it's even. I said that Carney was going to be worse than Trudeau. I thought that nobody could be worse at a pride parade. I thought nobody could be less dignified at a pride parade than Justin Trudeau. I was wrong. I was wrong. Because this happened. This happened. It's not like I'm saying you can't go there. Just at least try and be somewhat dignified about it, right? Like, don't act like you're on Molly, like, let's see. Oh, so this is another great thing here, too. So, I mean, it's so interesting, Canada. It's just a land of contradictions right now. Hamas official Ghazi Hamad just said that the initiative by several countries to recognize a Palestinian state is one of the fruits of October 7th. So, great job, Europe and Canada. You've done more to incentivize terror than you can possibly imagine. So this guy, who seems like he's probably really down with the whole LGBTQ thing, the whole pride thing, seems like he's really down with it. He's thanking Canada and Mark Carney because Mark Carney, saying that he plans to recognize the Palestinian state, is one of the fruits of the horrific massacre of October 7th. So I get kind of a land of contradictions, right? So there's this, there's this. Even Trudeau wouldn't have allowed this picture to be taken of himself. Okay? So there's this, and then he's getting a big thanks from a terrorist. This horrible slaughter on October 7th was all worth it, according to him, because of what Mark Carney's done. Mark Carney's offering him hope for just continuous terrorism forever. Nice work, Mark Carney. Ryan Gerritsen says a senior Hamas terrorist is thanking our country for recognizing a Palestinian state. Now do you understand why myself, along with so many others, are saying Carney doesn't speak for me? I want nothing to do with this. I also want nothing to do with this. In his voice, this is from Gideon Sar. In his voice, senior Hamas terrorist Razi Hamad, or Hamed. In his voice, senior Hamas terrorist Razi Hamed thanks France, UK, and Canada for recognizing a Palestinian state. The initiative by several countries to recognize this state is the fruits of October 7th. If this is who applauds you, what does it say about you? It says that you're a ridiculous country, a totally, utterly misguided country. Let's see. Carney was elected to do one thing, and it took him 4 months on the job to fail. It did take him a long time to fail. Let's see. EU actually made a deal with Trump. Great Britain made a deal with Trump. Japan made a deal with everybody. Makes a deal with Trump, except Canada, of course. This is the one man who failed to make a deal. Yep. I don't think he wanted to. I think at this point you have to assume that is intentional. He has other plans for Canada, and the well-being of Canadians, that's not part of the equation. Let's hear Liz Truss. Maybe somebody should have listened to her. Maybe because she did come to Canada, maybe the CBC or Global News or CTV should have interviewed her. You know who interviewed her? There was Counter Signal. Keen Bexty, I believe from the Counter Signal, interviewed Liz Truss. Not the CBC, none of the corporate media. For some reason, they didn't want to hear what she had to say. Almost feels like they were trying to hide something from us.
I think it is extraordinary that Mark Carney...
By the way, this is a former Prime Minister of the UK, so it's not just a nobody.
He has become the Prime Minister of Canada. He did a terrible job in Britain of the governorship of the Bank of England. He created a lot of the problems that blew up on my watch and that I got blamed for were actually created by him. He backed Labour in the election and Rachel Reeves's policies, which are leading the country to bankruptcy. So why on earth the Liberal Party of Canada has selected this man, I have no idea. And I think it is illegitimate that this guy has never been elected as a member of Parliament in Canada. I'm utterly puzzled.
Did she say something about leading the country to bankruptcy? Did she say something about that? Huh. Yeah, it kind of reminds me of something. Let's see. Oh, yeah. Let's see what, $92 billion deficit this year. Oh, well.
And Justin Trudeau has pursued a lot of the same policies that Europe has been pursuing. And America has raced ahead of us. Back at the turn of the millennium, the average Brit was catching up with the average American in terms of income per head.
Wow.
We are now $34,000 a year behind. We are poorer than Mississippi, which is the poorest American state. And the same is true. The same is true of France and Germany, and to some extent of Canada, because they pursued all of these woke policies. High taxes, high spending, not using their natural resources. And Justin Trudeau was the architect of that. And of course, Mark Carney has been the advocate of these policies. So I don't know what is going on in Canada, but in the same way as I think people in Britain need to wake up to what the real threat to our country is, I think they need to wake up in Canada.
Yeah, Mark Carney's fingerprints are all over Trudeau policy for at least the last 5 years of his reign. And because it was reported in the newspapers, I can show you the headlines announcing Mark Carney coming on to advise Trudeau. As we look back now with hindsight, and especially after reading his book, you can see Mark Carney's fingerprints were all over all of the terrible policies that have wrecked Canada, all of them. And it's just continuing. That's why I said then, during the election and before the election, he is Turbo Trudeau, and he's proved to be that. But that's to the point of, why did nobody in the mainstream media want to talk to a figure? I mean, this is not a nobody. This was the former, not for very long, but Prime Minister of the UK. She knows about Mark Carney. Did not want to talk to her because they knew what she was going to say. And their job was not to inform the public. It was, of course, to manipulate. Of course, we've got, this is from July 15th. Mark Carney's ethical guardrails, more of a smokescreen. The Prime Minister's holdings are so vast that it will be near impossible for him to avoid a conflict of interest. But, I don't want to get too down on the guy, because sure, everything's been a failure and he seems to be totally corrupt and he totally lied about his finances, right? He even lied about his dealings with Trump during the campaign, which is, he seems to have lied about pretty much everything. But at least he's hanging out with naked men in public in Vancouver during the Pride Parade. So at least we've got that, Canada. At least the world can respect us for this. Who, like, tell me in the chat, like, what other world leader would allow himself to be photographed like this? Like, even Trudeau didn't sink this low, wasn't this undignified. And up to that point, I mean, nobody had ever seemed less dignified. Any politician that seemed less dignified at a pride event than Justin Trudeau. But even he would have known, okay, yeah, well, this is really just undignified at this point. Who? What world leader? I can't even see Macron or Starmer. Who? And yeah, so I wonder if we'll hear anything about this. So here's something else related to Pride in Canada. Let's see what's going on here. Anti-Israel demonstrators have blocked the Vancouver Pride Parade. Well, Carney was here. I wonder if we'll hear anything about this from him, from Jared Yager. No pride in genocide. What does that even mean? Like, the Pride Parade isn't involved in Gaza. They're just like, so are the gays sick of this shit? Are Queers for Palestine sick of this yet? Because it seems like they don't really like you that much, and they're willing to shut you down. They want to be the center of everything, right? So are you sure these people are your allies? Really? Really? Come on. You must have a few questions in your mind, a little bit, right? You know, there's that whole, throwing you off the rooftops thing, or hanging you from cranes in like Iran and Tehran kind of thing, right? There's all that kind of stuff. So I don't know. Or how about being illegal in every single Islamic country? You being illegal in every single Islamic country. How about that? It's almost like they're just using you. It's almost like they see you as useful idiots. But I mean, they couldn't be that cynical, could they? The Hamasniks, they couldn't be that cynical. The people out on October 7th dancing and celebrating and cheering while the blood was still warm, while they were still slaughtering people, they couldn't be that cynical, could they? Not those people. The people chanting death to Canada, death to Israel, death to the United States, they couldn't be that cynical, could they? I don't know. I mean, the good thing is, if there's any CBC employees there that are upset by it, they can go to their crying room. So there's that. There's silver cloud right there. All right. Man, oh man. How's Canada doing? Not good. Not good. Really bad. Really, really bad. Are they going to let me do an ad now or what? Come on, people. Come on, Rumble. Let me do an ad. Still not. Well, I've got enough people. Why aren't they letting me doing it? The hell? I love doing the ads. That's weird. I don't know what the heck's going on. Hold on one second. I got to do something for a sec. Hold on. It's telling me to... Oh, there we go. Nice. Okay, here we go. Let's see. What have we got? I want to do a coffee one. No coffee ones for me today. That's a bummer. Let's see. Well, there's some here that tell me to stick directly to the script, and that's not going to work for me. So I got to do something else. How about this one? Ooh, a cooler. This sounds fun. Okay, let's do it. And now it's not letting me. All right. Bummer. Maybe if I do this. Hold on. I got to get that ad in. Love doing the ads. All right, everybody, listen up. All right, outdoor crew. If you're into fishing, camping, everybody loves that. or getting off the grid, that's a good thing to do. Meet your new best friend, the Hunter Orange 25 quart cooler from Caddis Sports. That's Caddis Sports. This isn't your average cooler, my friends. It's roto-molded. And by the way, that's the best way, roto-molded, for max durability, bear-proof, because those bears are going to want your stuff, and 20% lighter than other brands. Ooh, my back. It's so much easier on my back. So it's easier to haul, whether you're deep in the backcountry or just settling up or at the dock or running away from mobs of revolutionary communists. You'll get up to 3 days of ice retention thanks to thick, high-performance insulation, which is the best kind. That means cold drinks, fresh food, and fewer ice runs, whether you're chasing muttons offshore or posted up at a campsite or hiding from revolutionary communists, because they're the worst. All right, the best part. You want to know the best part? I'm not going to hide it from you. It's 40 to 50% cheaper. Let me repeat that. 40 to 50% cheaper than the big name coolers, but still built to perform season after season. I can't even believe that. 40 to 50% cheaper than those big name coolers. They're all woke anyway. And like all Caddis Sports name brand gear, it's proudly made in the USA. Proudly made in the USA. Not in China. Use code RUMBLE at checkout for 10% off your order today. So you're going to use the code RUMBLE. Don't forget, it's easy to remember because you're watching Rumble. At checkout for 10% off your order today. That's caddissports.com. CADDIS sports.com. Don't forget it. Go grab the Hunter Orange 25 quart cooler and keep your next adventure ice cold. Well, how'd you like that? Let's see. Do I have any ratings on here already? Rosie says, bear proof. Is it commie proof? Dang, that's what I missed. That's my first time reading that one, by the way. So I'll read that one again, and I'm going to make sure I add that in there. I knew I was missing something. Thank you, Rosie. Commie proof. Sounds like it. Excellent read, 9.9 out of 10. That's almost the most you can get out of 10. Izzy says, oh, I was expecting a beverage ad. Well, a beverage box is close enough. Always look on the bright side, Izzy. Let's see. Rosie says you could stick to the script and impersonate someone. I could try that. Maybe I need to get some new impersonations. Let's see. What else we got? Izzy says 25 quarts. Wonder what that is in Canadian. I think that's 2,000 liters, I believe. I'm pretty sure. All right. Let's see. What else is going on in the chat? Chat's picking up a little bit now. Let's do this, people. Don't want to know where Carney's arm is there. Travis, how you doing? Good to see you. All that time, some thought Castro was the father of Trujina. He sure looks like him. And we know that Castro knew his mom. So I think he looks more like Castro than he does Pierre Elliott Trudeau Sr. That's just my thoughts. I don't know, though. And Trudeau does seem to be commie enough as well. So it also goes with it. Let's see. Izzy says, how depressing. When do I get to vote for Alberta to leave? I think actually fairly soon. That's the good news. I think I've seen, I haven't looked into it deeply. I think I saw a couple of things about they're kind of moving on that quickly. Rosie says, I vote now for Alberta to leave. Do you mean leave? Leave. There we go. Yeah, leave. You should move to Alberta briefly just so you can vote for it to leave. As he says, well, they'll let you cut your dick off instead of throwing you off a roof. I hear. Here, actually, in Iran, yeah, that's your option. So if you're gay, you can become a tranny and they'll let you live. I think probably the quality of life is not really great though in Iran if you do that. Still, I don't think it's like you're welcomed into, Iranian high society. Like, I don't think they're going to put you in a. Well, they don't have beer. I guess what would it be? I guess so you're definitely not getting in a Iranian Bud Light commercial because they don't have booze there. So I guess maybe like an Iranian goat milk commercial or something. You're still not getting that. Turtle says, just found out Jesse wrestled Sydney Sweeney's dad in high school. Really? Spokane, small world. That's hilarious. But I bet he would have rather wrestled Sydney Sweeney. All right. These are the kind of things we talk about on this channel. You don't like it? Too bad. Let's see. So from CBC Watcher here. Mark Carney said, amongst all of the things he said he was going to do that he hasn't done and he had no intention of doing and that he's making worse, he said he was going to curb immigration. This is not happening. He was never going to. He brought on one of the co-founders of the Century Initiative that wants to raise the population of Canada to 100 million people. One of the co-founders of that is one of his trusted advisors, high up advisor for him. We knew that wasn't going to happen. And of course, it's not happening. It's going to be Turbo Trudeau all the way. It says here, the most recent immigration data for 2025 signal that there has been no curbing of immigration. None. Canada's immigration issues are worsening, according to Chris George. So let's take a look at this article. Hold on. All right. So it says here, let's maybe make this a little bigger. The most recent immigration data for 2025 signal that there has been no curbing of immigration, but rather a continued aggressive intake of newcomers. Immigration, Refugees, and Citizenship Canada, Immigration, Refugees, and Citizenship Canada, the IRCC, reports that between January and April of this year, there were more than 817,000 people who arrived in Canada. That's not people that are just kind of carrying over a visa was extended. No, that's 817,000 who arrived in Canada between January and April. You start doing the math, and it very quickly becomes horrifying. 132,000 granted permanent residency. They'll all become citizens and will be voting soon. 194,000 study permits, 491,400 work permits. While you have Canadians in Canadian cities, 5,000 people lining up for 50 jobs, which, by the way, if you're a Canadian, you're not getting anyway. They just they have to put out the notices as part of the temporary foreign worker program. So they have to say that they tried to get some Canadians, but they just couldn't get any. And all the best qualified people were foreign temporary workers who just happened, to offer them, subsidies or tax breaks, some sort of benefit from the government when they hire them. So, by the way, you're wasting your time if you go and stand in those, 30-hour lineups for a job, because if you're Canadian, you're not getting it. Why on earth would we be issuing 491,000 work permits between January and April when Canadians can't find jobs? That's insane. That's insane. That's something you would do if you don't care about the Canadian people. At this rate, Canada can expect more than 2.4 million people. Let me repeat that, 2.4 million people to arrive in the country this year, not including those migrants accepted as refugees or asylum seekers, such as the people who were recently jetted over from Gaza. So not even including that. Why? Why? It's not for the Canadian economy. It's not for the well-being of Canadians. This is insanity. This is lunacy. Is this just simply an attempt to just, because most of these people will all end up staying, right? I mean, they come over with the expectation that they're not going to leave again. So you have to remember that. Is it just, let's just completely change the demographics and just have a left-wing government forever? I don't know. Something insane is happening, though. None of this is sanity. None of this is sane if you want to preserve Canada as a country. Is something that anybody would remember as Canada. There seems to be a big rush to turn Canada into something else for some reason, for some globalist technocrat reason. I guess that's why we've got a globalist technocrat prime minister, huh? Elbows up, folks. Elbows up. All right. Let's go back to the chat for a second. Let's see. Izzy says, goat milk, I'll take a scotch. Not in Tehran, you won't. Let's see. Turtle says, doing chores, I'm in the dark. All right. What do we got next? What's happened next? So let's talk about Canada joining the EU. We keep seeing these polls. We've been seeing these polls for months now. Ever since Mark Carney started talking about how Canada is the most European, non-European country for some reason, even though that's just a ridiculous statement because Canada is far, far more like the United States. We watched, for one thing, English, right? English, right? Canada is not more like Germany or Italy or Spain than it is like the United States. English, for one. We watch the same movies, the same TV shows, the same music. You can recognize the food. Any American can get whatever they like eating in Canada, no problem whatsoever. Same the other way around. So this whole, the most European, non-European country, I find it just totally asinine. And there seems to be some sort of agenda behind it. And I don't think it's just a coincidence that all of a sudden you see these polls popping up. Should Canada seriously consider initiating a formal process to join the European Union? 46% saying yes. Oh, boy, oh, boy, oh, boy. That's a terrible idea. There is the one little issue of Canada's not in Europe. You idiots. There's also the issue of the European Union being a basket case and going broke and having much of it being in even worse economic shape than Canada is. By the way, also, all of those elbows up imbeciles that were talking about, Canada's sovereignty, yeah, you give up a lot of that when you join the EU. Let's see. The European Union has shared competence with its member states on immigration and trade policy. That means you don't just get to do it on your own anymore, meaning both the EU and national governments can legislate in these areas. However, the EU's role is more prominent in trade, where it has exclusive competence, while immigration involves a more complex interplay of shared and national competencies. Well, I guess this is an AI overview. So let's see. What does reality look like? Hungary fined 200 million euros for breaking EU asylum rules. Seems like they take that whole you don't control your own borders anymore thing. It seems like they take that whole we control your borders now thing very seriously, and they're willing to punish you very harshly for not doing what they want. So, yeah, if on one hand you're outraged at the idea of Canada losing its sovereignty and then you want to join the EU, well, you're just simply a useful idiot at that point, aren't you? White Claypool says, I'm sorry, can we not join a White Claypool, National Telegraph YouTube channel. I think he's got very good analysis of Canadian politics. I'm sorry, can we not join a hyper-federal mega alliance that will cause us to have to subsidize economic basket case nations? Yeah, that's something to think about, isn't it? Let's see. Maybe we should just try really, really hard to integrate economically as much as we can with the world's largest economy that's right next door. It's a big border with roads that go across. That's really, actually, when you think about it, kind of handy for trade. There's there's train tracks and roads. It all makes so much sense. It would make less sense if there was a giant ocean between us, but since there's not, maybe we should just really focus on just making that work. Here's another one from June 14th. They keep doing these polls. Amongst liberals, of course, 51%. That's back from June 14th. Of course, liberals. I mean, there is no idea that's too catastrophic for their own well-being, by the way, for their own well-being, for them not to want to do it. Baffling. It's not baffling. They're all brainwashed. Their brains have all been turned to mush by Rosemary Barton's teleprompter. Canada joining the EU is like, this is from Mark Nixon, Canada joining the EU is like boarding the Titanic after it hit the iceberg. France is rioting, Germany's in recession. Yeah, they're rapidly deindustrializing, and they have just bent the knee to Trump. Why the hell would we tie ourselves to a sinking socialist circus? Well, let's see. Canada has a low information, gullible, easily fooled electorate. So maybe that's why. Anyway, pretty dumb, in my opinion. Pretty dumb. What are you guys saying? And let's see. It sounds like Spambot's having some whiskey, which is good. Good for you. Is the EU is actively working towards one world government where member nations lose all sovereignty. Let's repeat that. From Izzy. EU is actively working towards one world government where member nations lose all sovereignty. That is correct. They look at the Chinese totalitarian system with envy. They've got, hey, guess what? They've got capitalism, but it's capitalism with Chinese characteristics, which means that every company of note has to have a Communist Party office in it. So it's really much more like fascism, really. But they look on that with envy. That's the model. It's the perfect model, right? You've still got some capitalism there, but you have total control of the population. You don't have to worry really about protests or anything because, well, people just can't. So there you go. That's like the dream situation. They don't have to worry about being criticized, not in China. And it turns out that, let's see, Olaf Scholz from Germany. When was it? This was a little while ago. When was he is he still the leader? Hold on. Let's do a fact check. Hold on. So he's former chancellor. He's the former chancellor of Germany. It's so hard to keep up with all of these globalists. There's so many of them. Let's see. But in any case, people like that, they drool when they think about having the kind of power of the Communist Chinese Party, of the Chinese Communist Party. I think that's the plan. That seems to be the plan to me. All right. I guess we'll keep moving. So let's see how Islam is going in Canada. Let's see how that assimilation is going. This is from November 17th, 2024. Ungrateful Arab migrants call for jihad. Well, that's a personal struggle, right? That's an internal struggle, right? In Canada, during a protest against Israel's right to defend itself against Hamas and Hezbollah jihadists. Is this what diversity looks like? Death in the way of Allah is our best aspiration. Oh, Allah is the greatest.
تكبير القدس رايحين شهداء بالملايين القدس رايحين شهداء بالملايين القدس رايحين شهداء بالملايين.
So those are Canada's new values. Let's see. Here's some more of Canada's new values. Let's see this.
اللهم أعز الإسلام والمسلمين وأذل الكفرة والمشركين.
Humiliate the what is it? Humiliate the infidels and the polytheists. I guess the Hindus, right? And the Sikhs, are they polytheists as well? Anyway, he doesn't like them, right? And he's just letting us know about our new values in Canada.
ذل الكفرة والمشركين. اللهم دمر أعداء الدين.
Destroy the enemies of Islam, he says. Totally reasonable. Annihilate the heretics and the atheists. Did you hear that, liberal voters? Did you hear that? A lot of you are atheists. He wants to annihilate you. These are Canadian values, though, and nothing to worry about.
أهلك الزنادقة والملحدين. اللهم انصر المجاهدين في سبيلك في كل مكان. اللهم ثبت أقدامهم واربط على قلوبهم وأنزل السكينة عليهم وانصرهم على عدوهم وعدوك يا عزيز يا قوي. اللهم انصر المسلمين المستضعفين في كل مكان. اللهم عليك باليهود.
Bring annihilation upon the plundering and criminal, you know who. Right? You know who. Nothing genocidally anti-Semitic about this whatsoever. Oh, no, it is totally that, actually. And apparently this is fine. Let's see. You know how you know this is fine? This is Canadian values now? Let me show you. I have it on good authority that these are Canadian values now. In fact, the highest authority. Here.
These are Muslim values. These are Canadian values.
So that's how you know. The highest authority is letting you know what your values are now. Not those, traditional Canadian values. Those are terrible. What's going on here? Canada has police officers who say that people are Islamophobic if they call out the anti-Semitic pro-Hamas rallies where people cosplay as Yahya Sinwar and shout, globalize the Intifada. So welcome to the Islamic Republic of Canada. I guess this is what Mark Carney's talking about. These are Canadian values now. Imam brags Canada is working to implement Sharia. Like, Mark Carney's really not kidding is the thing. He's really not kidding.
And what I said about the Canadian government wanted the Muslims to be able to regulate their own issues of marriage and divorce and set up systems of mediation and arbitration to solve their problems amongst themselves through Sharia law.
Hear that, feminists? That must be welcome news to the feminists, right? They love this stuff. And after all, their hero, Mark Carney, is saying this.
These are Muslim values. These are Canadian values.
There you go. Sharia law. Canadian. These are your values now. And again, you don't have to worry because they're not traditional Canadian values because those are evil, right? So you don't have to worry about that. You wouldn't want to be caught with those traditional Canadian values. I'll tell you that much. Super unfashionable. Get yourself some terrorist flag and mark down the street and chant genocidal things. It even works if you're white, by the way. So this even works if you're white. So if you want to be able to chant genocidal slogans about the Jews, just grab one of these Palestinian flags, one of these various terrorist flags, and you're part of the party now too. CBC won't say a thing about it. Let's see. Oh, here we go. Oh, Allah, destroy the Jews, he says. These are those Canadian values that Mark Carney's telling us about. This imam in Victoria, BC, continues his hate sermons without being stopped, but Montreal sends cops to a church. Well, in fairness to this guy, he didn't start singing a country song, right? So, I mean, if he'd sang a Christian country song, well, you know, obviously that has to be dealt with. That would feel more like traditional Canadian values, which is, you know, obviously terrible. As is up in Open Borders Canada. This is from 2023. Allahu Akbar. Here we go. Last night, thousands of Muslims were allowed to seize control of the streets in Toronto to show their support for Hamas. Not a word from the CBC. This is a display of dominance, right? So they don't have to do this here, but it's a display of dominance. This is, we're taking over. Let's see. Total silence from CBC News or hypocrite Dave Eby as this Islamist imam tours Canada pushing Sharia from Ottawa to Vancouver. But Sean Foyt holds a Christian concert and they lose their minds. Yes, so legacy media silent as pro-Sharia imam kicks off Canadian tour. Establishment figures have been completely silent about the Canadian tour of a Salafi preacher who touts extreme anti-Western ideology to his followers. Isn't that nice? The awakening of the Ummah and the end of times. Well, that sounds exciting. And it sounds like really optimistic, too. The end of times, you say? Huh. I thought I would take a look at CBC, and surely they must have written something about this guy. Let's take a look. Because there's loads of videos about him. Let's see. So I put his name in here, and I did a search. And, yeah, there's nothing. It's like he doesn't even exist. It's like they don't even know he exists, which I guarantee, by the way, they know he exists. But it's like they don't. It's like they're totally lacking in curiosity about the genocidal rhetoric spewing cleric in Victoria. Let's see. Vigil held in Carrier for sheer cleric. Let's see. So, yeah, there's nothing. Let's see. What about that evil Christian singer? Let's see. Sean Foyt. Let's take a look. Trans Manitoba shares concern over Sean Foyt playing Winnipeg Central Park. Let's see. Canadian cities cancel concerts of Christian rock, a mega star. Should Sean Foyt still play in Canada? So, yeah, lots of this. Lots of this. It's not surprising because they started up the fake moral panic over him. But it just shows you that, again, CBC, corporate media in Canada generally, not interested in informing the public, interested in manipulating. They don't want you to know about this guy because that's counter narrative for them. It's inconvenient. It's all very depressing. Let's see. Canadian imam advocates forcing women to wear hijab. How about that?
Styles. It doesn't fit their values. Let's give a few examples. If the law of Allah is implemented, women will have to be in hijab. They will have to dress the way Allah commanded them to dress, not the way any human being.
But again, you have to say he's not a Christian. He's not white, so fine. And definitely not traditional Canadian values, so fine. Just fine. Yeah, it just goes on and on and on. Total double standard. It seems to be totally suicidal. It's insane. What's this lady saying?
Are those machine gun earrings dangling her?
Yeah, machine gun earrings. My name is Esther Karem.
Okay.
Okay, I'm 22 years old. I'm a Palestinian. I have no fucking problem saying I support Hamas because they are the true fighters of Palestine and they're gonna bring back Palestine because you guys are fucking white supremacist idiots that need to wake the fuck up.
Sorry, who are the white supremacist idiots?
You are.
Me, okay. Gee.
You're using terms like terrorist for. Have you even seen what has been happening in the past 75
Ma'am,
years?
several governments recognize Hamas as terrorists.
The evidence.
So, are there still flights to Gaza? Are there still flights? I don't know. I kind of feel like Canada may not be the place for this woman. There may be a better place for her, actually. I mean, the irony is if, like, Canadians were white supremacists, she wouldn't be here. But I guess no need to bring that up. That's counter-narrative. Didn't you know? CBC's not going to be at all interested in that. So there you go. That's how it's going in Canada. How's it going in Canada? Not good. Not good. How's the trade talks going? Not good. How's that assimilation going? Not good. Not very well. How well Carney? I mean, how is he just generally? I mean, how is Mark Carney? It's not great. He's hanging out with naked men at the Pride parade in Vancouver for some reason and being photographed. Not good. Not great. But he's better than Trudeau, right? I mean, Trudeau was really unhinged at the Pride parades. Yeah, he was. Now, if he shoved that Pride flag up his own ass, that would be worse. But I think you got to give it to Carney here. Give it to Carney here. Most embarrassing picture of any world leader in history. I'm going on the record with that. Worst in history. Not working out. Just not working out. It's not going well in Canada. Should I move to Canada? No, I wouldn't do that. Not a great idea. It's not going great. Just not going great. Let's see. What are you guys talking about? What the hell is going on in the chat? Maybe we should try and do another ad read. That'd be fun. What about a coffee ad? I love doing the ad reads. I would do them even if I made I have a small audience right now, so I don't expect to make a lot of money off them, but I would do it for free because I just like it. I don't like it though when they tell me to stick to follow the exact script. I can't do that. That makes it not fun for me, and the reason I do it is because it's fun. Because I enjoy it. So, and there are still ones that will let me do what I do. Just let me do what I do. I'll handle the script, okay? How about this one? This is fun. You're looking for a comfortable but unique option for your gaming setup? Everybody's looking for that. Of course they are. Check out TechniSportUSA.com. Now that's Techni, like TECHNI, SportUSA.com. With a wide range of ergonomic chairs. Those are the best kind, by the way. In an array of colors, you will definitely bring your setup to the next level. Let me read that again because it's so good. With a wide range of ergonomic chairs and an array of colors, you will definitely bring your setup to the next level. I hear ergonomic and I say, I likey. Always comfy, never boring. TechniSport. Use code RUMBLE for 10% off the entire order. Now, I want to repeat that website. It's TechniSport USA, TECHNI Sport USA.com. Don't forget to use the code RUMBLE. You're going to get 10% off. All right, my friends, you know what to do. Well, that was a short one. And I just didn't have time to get any commie hate in there. It just ran out before I had time. So I'll have to think about that one and try and work in some commie hate in there somewhere. It's maybe the first one I've ever read without commie hate. I don't know. I feel kind of bad. I feel like I've let everybody down, but I'll be on top of it next time. All right. JDL, just hit the like button. Hit the like button. JDL, just hit the like button. Everybody hit the like button. Listen to JDL. JDL is really amongst the best of us all. Of humanity I'm talking about. Go ahead and do that right now. Also, subscribe to the channel if you're not, because everybody's doing it. And also, like the stream. Like the stream. It's a really big deal. Just do it. You'll see. You'll understand. Let's see what else we got going on here. Let's get into the chat. EU is working towards one world government. Yeah, we did that one. What's this? Izzy says, I first realized EU was broken watching Microsoft game them to push Office through as a competing international standard for document formats. Boy, that's a mouthful, Izzy. But okay. Izzy says, nothing says standard like having more than one and one with binary blobs protected by patents, making it impossible to implement. Okay. Nevada, how are you doing? Good to see you. All right. Nevada says, for fuck's sakes, Carney, shut up, Commie. Commie gets nothing. You know, this is an important point that I don't feel like I make enough these days. Where is it? Where is it? Thank you for reminding me of this. Here, let's listen to Carney. What's he saying?
These are Muslim values. These are Canadian values.
Shut up, Commie. Commie gets nothing. Commie gets nothing. If only. If only. Let's see. Rosie says she's drinking Asian jasmine white tea with honey. Well, that sounds nice. Nevada's drinking Arizona sweet tea. Well, that's nice. Let's see. Rosie says Muslim values, Canadian values, crazy. The Canadian government may want Muslims, only the sick ones in government. I don't know. It seems to be causing some problems. Bambot says Muslim values are not my values. Like, why do we have to just accept everybody else's values? Like, they're not all the same. They seem to prefer them. Like, you can't have, like, we have the RCMP saying that traditional values are extremist in Canada. And by that, they just mean, like, Canadian values. But you can have these lunatics and these imams all over Canada. They can come and do their tours, just preaching genocidal lunacy, right? Like the most horrific things, telling women that they are all going to have to wear hijabs when they take over, and nothing. Just no. Well, they're good though. They're not white people, so it's good. It's strange, right? Like it's suicidally stupid. Let's see. Izzy says, yeah, but at least they weren't honking. Well, that's the thing. Not yet. Probably will eventually. Like, will it be a problem when they're not honking, but they have their speakers out in public with their calls to prayer 5 times a day? Will anybody be arrested for that? Let's see. Jugmeat saying, I don't know. He's probably gotten some cushy job. Let's see. I imagine he was promised something by Trudeau. So I still think Jagmeet Singh, the former, just unbelievably stupid leader of the NDP, I think he's going to make a comeback with the Liberal Party. I think he was promised something. Trudeau's not there anymore, but he still obviously has influence, right? His buddies are all still in there. I think he's going to make a return with the Liberal Party. I think he made the determination that he went as far as he could with the NDP. He was never going to be prime minister leading the federal NDP. So I think he just said, I'm going to totally sell out to the Liberals. And then I'm going to go away for a little while. I'm going to come back as a Liberal. I'll get straight into cabinet. And I imagine he sees himself as being prime minister, as leader of the Liberal Party one day. That's what I think. I know it's total speculation. Maybe it's crazy, but Nevada says, Richie on a roll. Was I? I don't even remember what the hell I was doing. I don't remember what I was doing 10 seconds ago. Is he says CBC lacks integrity. That's just an obvious statement. Nevada says bunch of soulless scumbags. Soulless scumbags. Seems to be too many of those around these days. Let's see. I've gone too far back in the chat now. I'm trying to remember what the hell I was talking about. JDL says Lonnie Anderson, WKRP, passed away. Well, that's it. I thought she had a long time ago, though. Huh. Nevada says, you can do it, Richie. Call me hate. Next time. That ad was so short that I didn't have time to organize myself. Because that's the first time I'd read that one. As he says, but do they sell jobs for our Canadian values? Well, I mean, if the liberals get their way, all the feminists will be wearing their hijabs before too long. Let's see. Okay, I'm going to skip right to the end here. Nevada makes a great point. Are Canadian values Muslim values? Why, no, they're not. See, that's just a one-way street. That's not a two-way street. That's a one-way street. JDL says Gaza refugees are coming. I know they wanted to bring in at least another 5,000. Nevada says, did you get all the Haitians yet? I'm sure they're flooding across the borders as we speak. How about some Venezuelans? I'm sure that I'm sure they're flooding across our, unwatched borders right now as we're speaking. All right, let's move on. What the hell's going on now? So Sydney Sweeney is making the purple-haired goblins' heads explode still. This is just like, this is the coup de grace. The coup de grace? The coup de grace? That's what this is. This is the final insult to the woke tards. Dom Lucar. Sydney Sweeney is going viral after footage of her showing off her shooting skills was posted. If it wasn't bad enough. No, not this. Oh, no.
Back this for your first day.
Hey, eyes up here.
Wow, 9:21. Oh my God, girl.
So come on.
Girl.
It's just too much now, right? It's just too much. Hot and deadly. That's a woman who can defend herself. It's almost too much for me at this point, right? No more. It's too much. It's just too much. This is definitely too much for the wokesters. This will drive them completely insane now. Right? Like, this is simply too much for them to bear. Nevada says, love it. I love it too. It's too much. Just, that's it. Don't tell us anything else more about yourself, Sydney Sweeney. We don't want to know anymore. We don't want to know anymore. If I were a younger man, I would, and she walked in somewhere, I would rapidly drink 10 beers and then awkwardly attempt to talk to her. And then go back and sit with my friends again, who would console me. Let's see. Anyway, yeah, life doesn't gotta like that. That's way too much. Also, Sydney Sweeney is going viral for allegedly registering as a Republican voter in 2024. Oh, come on now. She can't be real. She can't be real. Next, she'll start wearing a cross. Well, she did do those. I kind of that one thing that was kind of blasphemous, didn't she? She made a movie or something where, I don't know. But here's the thing is that the left is like, that's one thing they're talking about is that, well, she was in that movie where she was totally blasphemous and stuff. So joke's on you. It's like nobody actually cares. Like whatever this category is now, conservative, whatever, like whatever that is now, it's basically just the everybody who's not fucking crazy. So that's what we are. That's what we are. So it's like conservatives in Canada or in the UK or Republicans in the States. We're just now just the not batshit fucking crazy party. All of us, right? So there's the left, which is batshit crazy, and then there's everybody else. So anybody who still has like, old school liberal principles, they're either deluding themselves and voting for far leftists who hate them, or they're with us now. And the thing is, it's a big tent. So like people don't care that Sydney Sweeney did some horror movie or something. Like nobody people, they don't care that she's been nude in a movie. Like nobody actually cares. I mean, I think there probably are. Okay, so there's a few. I think Melanie Mack doesn't like her or something, but most just don't care. We're not actually all these uptight prudes. We're not all these moralistic prudes, right? It's one of the weird things that the left has done is that they've made normal people, just normal ideas and common sense into some sort of extreme far right moralism and authoritarian. It's just like, no, I don't care if people are gay. I don't care about gay marriage. Right. But I don't think that children should be subjected to medical experiments because they played with the wrong toy once when they were 5. So, that is now framed as somehow being anti all of the letters and somehow being this kind of, moralistic prude. No, that's just, I'm not crazy. I'm not batshit crazy, and I don't want to do evil things to children like the left does. My point being is that this kind of attack that like, oh, well, you're hypocrites because she was naked in a movie and you're all like hardcore fundamentalist Christians. No, we don't actually care. That's the thing. We don't actually care. We can live with it. It's just fine. We're not like you, right? We're not subjecting ourselves and each other to constant purity tests where everybody has to line up exactly with us, right? We're not struggle sessioning each other. Okay. That's what you guys do to each other. Okay. The left, you don't have friends, right? You have future inquisitors. You have future denouncers. You have people that will be struggle sessioning you at some point when you accidentally say the wrong thing. We don't have that. Right? We don't all have to be identical over here. We don't all have to be, faceless cogs in some ideological machine like you do. That's your thing. That's not us. We're just fine with Sydney Sweeney. Okay? I don't care if she showed her tits in a movie. Don't care. In fact, I approve of it. I just want to show JD Vance here, because this sums up the ludicrousy. This sums up how ludicrous the whole thing is.
Yeah, my political advice to the Democrats is continue to tell everybody who thinks Sydney Sweeney is attractive is a Nazi. that appears to be their actual strategy. I mean, it actually reveals something pretty interesting about the Dems, though, which is that you have like a normal all-American beautiful girl doing like a normal jeans ad, right? They're trying to sell jeans to kids in America, and they have managed to so unhinge themselves over this thing. And it's like, you guys, did you learn nothing from the November 2024 election? Like, I actually thought that one of the lessons they might take is we're going to be less crazy. The lesson they have apparently taken is we're going to attack people as Nazis for thinking Sydney Sweeney is beautiful.
Yeah, not a great strategy. Not a great strategy. Not a great strategy. All right, yeah, and of course this, how it started versus how it's going. All right. What are you guys saying? Nevada says, next she'll start wearing a cross. Yeah. Nevada says, you mean she's an actress who acts? Yes. Izzy says, yeah, I haven't changed. The left jumped off a cliff and I didn't follow. There's so many of us like that. Now, I definitely have moved to the right on things. Certainly, like on economic issues, I would say big time. Socially, I'm not that different. Like, I think that medical gender experiments on children, on confused children, is evil, straight up evil, and evil people do that. I think that now, and I absolutely, if that was even a thing 20 years ago, I would have thought that then as well. I was pro free speech back then. I'm pro free speech now. So I have moved to the right on some things for sure, but it was really once I was freed from that mental cage and I realized I was surrounded by lunatics. It tends to have a bit of a liberating effect. Nevada says we should make her Miss America. Put a statue of her outside the White House. Well, it'd be a hell of a lot better than the statues they're putting up now, right? It's like fat woman looking at her cell phone. Actually, that just happened in Canada. Do I have Woke Canada here? Yeah, I do. Okay, so it must be in here. Let's see. Where is it? Here we go. This is the one they put up in Canada. Oh, no, this is the one they put up in Canada. Is this one as well? Hold on. Here we go. This abomination unveiled today in front of the Art Gallery of Ontario. Canada is a tragic country with no understanding of beauty. We produce ugly things and put them in town squares. Progressives destroy. We took down Sir John A. Macdonald to put up this. Why? What has this got to do with Canada exactly? What is the purpose of it? It means nothing. It's nothing. I shouldn't say it means nothing. It's a political statement is what it is. It's a progressive statement. This is a display of power by the woke is what it is. It's meant to say the race communists are in control. That's what this is meant to say. And again, it's just copying the states, by the way. The left here would be hopeless. They'd be helpless without they wouldn't know what to do without the American left. They just copy them. They even copy the slavery stuff, even though there was never slavery in Canada. There was with the indigenous tribes. It was rife amongst themselves. But, slavery had been banned in the British Empire before Canada became a country. So that's just a lie that's being pushed on us. In fact, there's the Liberal voters. All right. You know who this is? This is Christine Van Gyn, and she's from the Canadian Constitution Foundation. And I think she is like the Sydney Sweeney of Canadian constitutional law, in my opinion. I think she's quite hot. Quite hot. Maybe we should listen to her. Let's not be sexist. Hold on.
I have said repeatedly that if people don't like what Sean Foyt is saying, that the response to that is to say something different, protest. And if you can't protest in front of the church, then that ends the conversation. The better response is to allow the protest, not to revoke Foyt's permit to perform. The whole incident also highlights a really growing double standard. Progressive protests routinely blockade roads and disrupt city spaces without permits, particularly in Montreal, particularly related to protest over Palestine and the war in Gaza. Now, these acts have included the occupation and destruction of private property. And progressive activists actually defend all of this act in the name of freedom of expression, even though the destruction of property and the occupation of private property and the blockading of roads are not protected expression. Foyt's performances are on the other side of the political spectrum. And instead of occupying and destroying property, he's being invited onto it. And for the left, suddenly permits matter again. Rights need to be upheld evenly, not selectively, and applied based on an ideological alignment.
Hey, so Like, you're really good at that, like, Canadian Constitution foundationing stuff. You just wanted to say. So we're not all crazy in Canada. We're not all crazy. That was just a whole lot of sanity right there. Total sanity. So we've still got some good ones up here. We do. It's just that we're kind of outnumbered by the dingbats at the moment, by the race communists. Anyway, she follow the Canadian Constitution Foundation. They put out lots of videos. Well, not a ton, but they put out videos, and it's like an island of sanity in Canada. So I think it's worth it. But as I say, the Sydney Sweeney of Canadian constitutional law. I'm a fan. All right. Now what's happening? Now what are we doing? Hold on. What are you guys saying in the chat? The one that says rabbit with a truck, that awful statue. Yeah. They hate Canada, JDL says. Yes. It's not like they hide it. They're not hiding the fact that they hate Canada. Right? Like, all right, do I have to do this again? Let's see. Where is it? Where is it? They're not hiding their hatred for Canada, is my point. Like, they're pretty open about it. And if I can just find what I'm looking for, I can prove it to you. Hold on. Let's see. Where is it? It's in here somewhere. This always happens to me every single time that I'm looking for something. I can't find it. Do you know what's actually... Oh, wait a second. Was that it? No, that's not it. Damn it. Damn it. Well, now I've got to find it. What am I supposed to do? Oh, might still be in here. Might still be in here. What is that? Who's that guy? Not looking so good. He's a risky offender who they just let out. They just keep letting out for some reason because they hate us, I think. Oh, here we go. So how do we know that they hate us? Let's see. Let's take a look.
Do not wonder how revolution could possibly be done. Man, we must do it. Death to Canada, death to the United States, and death to Israel.
So that's a lot of death there. Oh, pardon me. Hold on. Okay, I think I got all the sneezes out. Yeah, the reason I say that they that they hate us is because they tell us that they hate us, right? So, like, death to Canada is kind of like a. I mean, I think it's safe to assume that they hate us, right? Hence the whole death to us thing. So, there's that. All right, what else is going on? Let's see. Mickey, how you doing? Izzy says destruction of culture to attack the right most. Well, it's entirely to attack the right. It's to attack anything traditional or history, everything. Anything that would be a bulwark that would stand against the revolution. Right? The race communist revolution. Anything that's a threat to that. Let's see. Vandalism is not speech. JDL says, yes, that's totally true. Izzy says, that was too much sanity for Canada. I know. She'll probably move. Probably end up having to move. What's going on here? So, from the UK. So, the UK is just rapidly turning into Airstrip 1 from 1984. How do we know that? Well, David Vance is telling us, heads up, you may all be terrorists, according to Starmer's regime. Regime is the right word. There has been an update. Check it out. So let's see. Prevent duty training, terrorist ideologies from gov.uk. Extreme right wing. Let's see. So, cultural nationalism. Western culture is under threat from mass migration and a lack of integration by certain ethnic and cultural groups. So, accurately describing reality is now a terrorist ideology. It's an extreme right-wing ideology in the UK now. UK is well on its way to becoming Airstrip 1. Way, way, way on its way. I mean, do I have to say it again? I mean, this is just an accurate description of reality. Even if, like, regardless of that, just if that's your view, even if it were wrong, if that were your view, your opinion, right? That's still valid. That's still valid. In a free country, you have to be able to describe the world as you see it. I mean, in this case, it's actually an accurate description of reality, and everybody over there, or the vast majority of people over there, seem to know it. And I guess, what do you do? What do you do when you are a slave, a vassal to a purely destructive and insane ideology? Well, you just simply call people who disagree with you terrorists. And extreme right wing. Extreme right wing. Scary. Absolutely scary. All right, let's move on. We're at the last bookmark for the evening, and actually, I got to keep an eye out for the glitch. Should be coming soon. I wonder if I can do one more ad read. Ooh, one more ad read. That'd be exciting. Everybody will love that. Let's see. What can I do? Okay, so we're going to do... What are we going to do? This is going to be fun, people. Listen to this. We're going to have a good time here. Ready to level up your game? AIM Controllers is where custom meets unbeatable value. I like that unbeatable value. And right now, it's the best deal of the year. We start with official Sony and Xbox controllers, fully compatible with console and PC. No functionality lost. No functionality lost. Well, you don't want to lose that, so that's a good thing right there. Then you go wild with custom features, smart bumpers, paddles, grips, stick height, custom buttons, even design your own PS5 snap panels, which is a beautiful thing. Everybody loves that. Here's the part no one else is doing. Lifetime warranty on all modified parts. That's right, a lifetime. What other company does that? Exactly. None of them. Normally, a fully loaded setup could run you $400. But during our one price promo, it's just $209 or 182 euros, no matter how many features you add. No matter how many? Really? Wow. Use code RUMBLE at checkout and lock it in. This is your sign. Use code RUMBLE at checkout, and you got to lock that in. Go to aimcontrollers.com, 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 and build the last controller you'll ever need. Don't be a communist. Again, these are all new ads. I just haven't had time to come up with anything. I just threw it right in the end there. I mean, that's it. I was working. I was trying to come up with something as I was reading through it, adding in some of that commie hate, and it just didn't seem to work at any point. So I don't know. I mean, I did the best I could there, people. I threw something right, just desperately, I threw one out right at the end there. I know it wasn't enough. I'll try harder next time. Something beautiful just happened, though. I don't know if you guys are aware of this. Something beautiful just happened. Hold on, let me scooch back a little bit and make sure there's not any other thing. Okay, here we go. You guys ready? Spambot Fodder just gifted another subscription. I believe that's like in the 70s now of gifted subscriptions, which is, by the way, the best thing you can do for my channel is to give subscriptions. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing. Spambot Fodder, guess what? And I'm not kidding around with this best person ever thing. I'm talking about the best person in history. I'm not kidding around. I'm not being facetious. The best. Whoever you think was the best person ever, whoever your personal hero was or whatever, just your favorite writer, your favorite musician, songwriter, composer, whatever, all human garbage compared to Spambot, gifting Trudeau Survivor, a membership to the channel. It's a beautiful thing. Now, Trudeau Survivor can watch all the premium only content on the channel, like tomorrow night we're going to be doing. It's a beautiful thing. His tweets are highlighted in the thing. It's really the most beautiful thing you can do for anybody in this life. A wonderful, wonderful thing. And that's why Spambot Fodder. I mean, maybe like your hero was like, Winston Churchill or something. And I like Winston. I'm a great admirer of Winston Churchill. Compared to Spambot, human garbage. You heard me. Human garbage. That's how powerful this is. Anyway, thank you very much, Spambot. Beautiful thing. The best amongst us. The best. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Trudeau Survivor says, I'm surprised that black people aren't more vocal about being represented in statues as annoying airplane passengers. Thing is, they are. There's lots of videos of them saying this is just embarrassing. Why are you doing this? These are not good statues for us. Like, please, if you have to put up better statues, please. This is just kind of embarrassing. And it's like stereotypes. No thanks. Let's see. Let's see. Izzy says, I prefer small fringe minority. Feels special.
Small fringe minority?
Let's see. Izzy says, 10 out of 10. I'll take the commie hate with my joystick. Nikki says, best person ever. Now you're on the trolley. Izzy says, how does that premium content work with the gifted memberships? Doesn't seem to. It's supposed to work. Now it's not. It doesn't work for other channels. So if you get a premium, if you get the premium membership for Rumble, you get everybody's premium content. So like Crowder and Tim Pool, all of that. But it's supposed to. It's supposed to work with the premium content. So I don't know. If it's not working, that's something I need to look in on because I don't want to mislead people. But I did look into it. It said that it does. So it should. Unless it expires, because it's a month, right? So maybe it expires. And so if you go after that, it's not going to work. Nevada's saying me either. Huh. Amazing Faces. How you doing? Says, hi, everyone. I've been listening while working in my garden. Happy long weekend to us Canadians. Great. Happy long weekend to you. Let's see. So that's a concerning thing because it should, unless the membership expired, right? So a gifted membership will only last 1 month. Is there anybody out there who's just not a Rumble Premium member, but has a channel membership, like a Radio Baloney membership, that it is working for? Let's see. Mickey's saying, I tried to. Well, that's weird. Okay, I guess I better stop saying that. I'll look into it some more and see, because that is not good, because I don't want to do false advertising. I looked into it and it told me that it did. So I don't know what the hell's going on. All right. Is there anybody out there who's just a channel member that it does work for? Because now I'm getting worried and starting to feel kind of bad because if I do not want to mislead anyone. Okay, maybe it's not. Anyway, I'll have to look into it. If anybody who did that and it's not working for them, my apologies. I will look into it. Nevada says I can watch but not allowed to chat. Well, that's weird. That's really weird. How does that make sense? Izzy says maybe via locals. Maybe. I don't know. I'll have to look into it after the stream. Let's get back to the chat. You guys. Let's see. Wall Street Mav. A Russian man walking his dog captured an amazing moment as tsunami waves hit Russia's Kamchatka Peninsula. So he's really high up there, but this is kind of terrifying. Let's take a look. Like, it shows you the power of these waves. Let's take a look.
Волны цунами. Ё-моё.
See how high? Like, that's high. Like, that's really pretty scary. The dog just about ate it there. So that's nuts. I mean, you see how high they are there. Terrifying stuff. The dog was pretty chill considering the ocean was trying to kill it. That's pretty high up. Yikes. That's some terrifying stuff. Don't like it. Canadians, Dave West posted this. Stand up, speak out, fight back, or we will lose Canada to the globalist UN agenda. Well, that's true. So let's just keep doing that. Let's see. Recall Parliament right now. The Buck UL. This is a crazy thing. So Mark Carney has kept telling us all that we're the greatest crisis since World War II. He kept telling us that immediately Parliament went off for vacation for all summer, and absolutely nothing has been done. No budget until left. Pierre Poilievre said that he was not letting anybody go home for summer break until business had been dealt with. Mark Carney didn't bother. Just, no, everybody goes home now. Yeah, biggest crisis since World War II, right? But everybody go home. Yeah, we need a break. I'm going on vacation. Like, what? Really? So is it the biggest crisis ever or not? Exactly. Because if you really think that it is, it would seem that you're really incredibly irresponsible. Like, shouldn't Parliament sit during the biggest crisis since World War II? Like, I don't care what their summer plans are. How did all those Liberal voters not figure out the whole thing was just a giant fraud? They'd been totally scammed right from the start at that moment. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable just how blind people, how much people are willing to blind themselves to reality, right? To just hold on to their ego, to not admit that they were wrong. Recall Parliament right now. Fact, the United States is and will always be Canada's #1 trading partner. Obviously, we 100% depend on them, and our economy 100% depends on this trade. Just for our national security, we 100% depend on them, right? They do not depend on us. Fuck their taxpayer-funded summer vacation. Not recalling Parliament is criminal and should trigger an election. It's shameful. It's actually unbelievable. It's either the greatest crisis in Canadian, since World War II, or it's not. And if it's not, well, I guess you can go on summer vacation. If it is, this is insane and reckless and totally irresponsible. But I'll tell you what's not reckless and irresponsible. Spambot gifting channel subscriptions to Amazing Faces. This is just a beautiful thing, people. Just appreciate this. Just stop what you're doing and just appreciate this for a second. Spambot gifting in really kind of one of the most beautiful, probably the most beautiful gesture from one human being to another that you can imagine. There's really nothing better. Gifting a membership to Radio Baloney to Amazing Faces. This is just a beautiful moment. And because of this, I can confidently say, Spambot, every other person in history, just garbage compared to Spambot. Human garbage. Human garbage. I can say that confidently. What a beautiful thing. What a beautiful person. An earth angel, I say, an earth angel. I hope you all remember this moment. I know I will. Anyway, thanks, Spambot. Awesome. It really is the best thing anybody can do for my channel. It's awesome. And I think Rumble really likes it too. So it's a nice, beautiful thing. Let's see. All right, let's get back to the chat for. Actually, before I get back to the chat, let's do a little bit more. So, for Concerned Citizen posted this. So, I thought that Candace Owens was cooked when I heard about this lawsuit because I thought, frankly, I just thought, you know what? I mean, this Macron's wife there. I mean, she looks like some dried up old monkey, sure, but she's probably not a man. She's probably not a dude. And, the fact that they're suing, I mean, I've got a feeling this isn't going to go well for Candace Owens, and she keeps doubling down. And then they drop the lawsuit, and I'm thinking, okay, so I guess maybe it's a dried up monkey with a dried up monkey dick. I don't know. But President Macron drops 22 count defamation lawsuit on Candace Owens. So I guess Candace Owens wins. And I guess you can say that that's a man because they're dropping the lawsuit. I mean, if it was a slam dunk, why would you drop the lawsuit? Let's see. Wait, what? Mr. Emmanuel Macron and Brigitte Macron have dropped the lawsuit against Candace Owens already when she didn't back down? Guess he is a man after all. So I don't know. I guess maybe it is. Maybe it's true. Maybe Candace Owens was right the whole time. She certainly didn't back down. I mean, people were writing her epitaph, and yeah, I thought she was in big trouble. She's not, and she's going to keep saying that Brigitte Macron is a man for sure now. For sure, she's going to do it more. Probably it'll just be her whole existence now is saying that Brigitte Macron is a man, and it's actually she's her brother, but also her own father. And I don't know where it's going to go, but you can't really argue with her at this point. They dropped the case. Why'd they do that? I don't know what you guys think. So what do you guys think? A, dried up old monkey. B, woman. C, man. D, man who is her brother, used to be her brother, but also her father. And yeah, what do you guys think? Pick one. A, B, C, or D. Let's see. What else is going on in the chat here? Let's get something more pleasant on the screen. What a swing. What a swing. All right. Let's see. Spambot says, if you're a local subscriber, it is supposed to make premium available. Huh. Let's see. X is several seconds ahead of Rumble. Let me check out X, actually. So, all right. Let's see. is he says, nah, he didn't want to risk a vote of no confidence. Heaven forbid we should have government accountability. The sad thing is that if there was a vote now, Carney would win again. And he'd probably win by more, actually, to be honest. Because Canadians are stupid. Or there's enough Canadians that are stupid. Let's see. Luana says, Richie shows the video of Macron's wife in bathing suit. I don't know. Where's that? I don't have that. I'll look for it. Hold on. Let's see. Hold on. I'll be right back. Macron bathing suit. What's this? So what's going on here?
Montez ta voix qu'on se rende compte. Ce que ça donne quand tu l'as fait, parce qu'elle plonge.
There's something, she was much younger there. There's something very Dr. Zayas about her, I don't know.
Ta voix qu'on se rende compte. Ce que ça donne quand tu l'as fait, parce qu'elle plonge.
I don't think she's a man. I think she's a monkey. That's what I think.
Okay.
Whoa, hold on a second. Look at the way Brigitte is sitting there. That's not very ladylike. That's sitting like a man. Legs spread, because you got to be careful. You don't want to crush the family jewels. I'm just saying. But that is also how monkeys sit as well. So I think the jury's still out. Let's see. What's going on here? So I don't know. That's just some kids. I don't know. Let's see. Well, there she is in a one piece. And she's a lot older than he is. Oh, man. Why are we doing this to ourselves, people? Why are we doing this to ourselves? This is like staring into the abyss. Like, I feel like I'm losing a part of my soul checking to see if Brigitte Macron has a bulge. And I don't know. What does that say? I mean, what does that tell us? I'm not sure. I mean, I don't know what's happening there. I mean, maybe she's just like it's a woman, but she's just like a delicatessen down there. Anyway, as I was saying before I got interrupted by the glitch, maybe Brigitte Macron is a woman, but she's just like a delicatessen down there, Like, you know what I'm saying? Why are we doing this? Why are we doing this to ourselves? What happened to us? How did we become this? I don't know. I feel dirty, though. But let's keep going anyway. What's going on here? Well, that's not Brigitte Macron. If that was Brigitte Macron, there'd be no problem. I don't know. I'm pretty sure that's not a dude. This is the worst thing about the modern world, is just trying to figure out who's actually what they are. That's the biggest problem. What? Oh no, that's just the seat. That was a wiener for a second, or ball. I thought that was a ball for a second there, but it's not. That's just the seat. So, why have we done this to ourselves? So I don't see anything down there. I don't know. I think it's I still think it's a woman. Let's see. What's going on here? I have no idea. So who's that? That's Brigitte Bardot. So not the same as Brigitte Macron. Different. Not the same thing. Different person. All right. So there you have it. I don't know what the hell's going on, people. I'm just trying to live my life. Just trying to live my life. Let's go. Will they let me do 4? No, they won't. Of course, they're not going to let me do 4. Let's see. Ed reads completed. So, will they let me do another one? They're not going to let me do another. I already done my 3. I think that's the quota you get is 3. So, and we had a good time with those, didn't we? We did. We had a great time. Let's see. Nevada says it's a crazy world. It is. Radio Streamer, how you doing, Radio Streamer? I just assume the French are gay because they try so hard to love women. It all makes sense now. This is a monkey with a penis. Option F. I said dried up old monkey with a monkey penis. Amazing Faces says she's a man. Or monkey. Radio Streamer says it's a monkey man, baby. Oh, no. Oh, no. What do you think, Kamala?
You think you just fell out of a coconut tree?
No, I don't think that. Let's see. Hold on a second. Hold on. Let's go back there again. Should we see one more time? So I don't know. I mean, what do you guys think?
Holy Jesus. What is that? What the fuck is that?
We don't know. Something. All right. Kamala Tard, Nevada says. All right, what do we got next? Let's get away from this ugliness, this horribleness. Let's let Candace Owens deal with that. It's not our problem. Let's see. Well, this is sadly true and highly disturbing. So, merch, time jump from 1985 to 2025 in London. What will the next 40 years bring? London has fallen and the USA is the next target. Everywhere is the next target. Like, why would you want to turn this, London 1985, into what it is now? I don't know. I got to turn that off. So, you get your British bobbies and, those double deckers. And just look around, and it's a very homogenous country because, it's an island. And those are the indigenous people of that island. And they had, even in the 80s, they had immigration from India and from Jamaica. And that was a part of like the whole ska thing in the 70s, right? But it was still a very homogenous, culturally homogenous. This is it now, London 2025. So why are Western countries wanting to, specifically this, like going out of their way for this? Because there's lots of like diverse Christianity around the world, right? Lots. You could just bring in Christians. So why the decision to bring in in fact, a religion that is just fundamentally opposed to Christianity? I mean, even if you're not Christian yourself, even if you're an atheist, guess what? You're a cultural Christian if you're in Canada. If you grew up in Canada or the United States, that's just the way it is, and that's not a bad thing. That's a good thing. It's why your society is good. Whatever goodness is left, it came from that. And that's why you enjoyed your childhood so much. All right. Nevada says London is gone. Well, it's now 33% British. So, yeah. Radio Streamer says it's called westernized DEI suicide. Yep. Not healthy. Let's see. I'd say it's 100% accuracy now. Good job, Margaret. Margaret's got 99% accuracy.
She's going. Oh my god!
The best part of this is that the lizard is called Margaret, which I approve. Let's see. Make courtesy great again. Well, what's happening here? This guy's not putting up with that. This guy's chivalrous. Okay, I'm turning off that sound. I wish they wouldn't put music on everything. There you go, buddy. Make my day. Boom. See, that's how you keep people polite. All right, let's move on. Bill Maher says the Democrat Party won't survive unless it chooses to stand with Western civilization or collapse trying to appease the radical fringe. He will still vote for the Democrats every single time, though. It doesn't matter. But it's weird to me how he can make sense on so many things and then just be deluded into thinking that at heart, it's still the old party and, it's still better than those mean Republicans. They're like Christians and stuff. Let's take a look.
The world is a complicated place, and it's not just about oppressor and oppressed. They have a thought in their head that white people did some very bad things, and white people did some very bad things. And they're all but so did everybody else in the world. But they don't know that. They just see the world through this one prism. And until they do, I don't think you're going to get them off this issue. And I don't think the Democratic Party is going to be able to go forward until they make a decision. Whose side are you on here? Are you on the side of Western civilization and Western values, or are you on the side of the terrorists? Are you with those kids? Because, Mandami, he's the person.
Look, they've decided. They're with terrorists. They're with destroying civilization. They're with communism. They're with race communism. They've decided.
Because, Mandami, he's the perfect candidate for them. The world.
Yes, they've decided. They've made their decision. They hate Western civilization and they want to destroy it. Right? They hate the people who created the United States and wrote the Constitution. They hate all of it. They want to tear it. I don't know how much more clear it could be. They hate capitalism. They hate the United States. Right? They've made up an entirely alternate history for the country to justify this belief. There should be no confusion over this. Like, Bill Maher is kind of deluded here. Like, it's over. It's done. It's not a matter of they have to choose. They've chosen. What are the odds on him at some point just going, okay, I've had enough. I'm just going to vote for Republicans from now on because I don't like everything or I don't like a lot, but it's not crazy. They don't want to destroy. They don't want to, nationalize my house, my mansion, right? And take all my money and put me in a re-education camp. So I'll go with the guys who don't want to do that. What are the odds? Let's see. This is an awesome video. New camouflage technology unlocked. Well, let's take a look. I love this kind of stuff. Let's take a look.
No matter how many different camouflage patterns they tried, the enemies were still always able to see them. To solve this issue, the government came up with a new special camouflage pattern called Epstein List, which allows them to sneak through completely undetected. No matter how many...
That's smart. That's a genius idea. Right in your face, revealed on Barney Miller in 1981. So let's take a look. Actually, you know what? Because we're going to save this for tomorrow night's premium only stream. And then I won't have any problems with that on the back end. What's happening here? Priorities. Let's see. Save Nigerian Christians. Not interested. None of them interested. Free Palestine. All of them interested. That's because TV told them that. And TikTok told them that. That's why. Not interested. It's pretty obvious, right? Like the vast majority of these people with the flag in their Bible, they don't actually care. They're just doing what they're told, right? It'll be another flag, next month. How much can't they see it themselves? Don't they ask themselves the question? Like, okay, well, there's all these other awful things that have been happening, and there's different groups. Like, there's in Syria right now. Right there, ISIS basically took over Syria, and they're slaughtering ethnic and religious minorities there, just slaughtering them. Christians, Alawites, Druze. do they know that's happening? I guess that's the question. Do they know? Right? Because the narrative makers probably aren't telling them about that, because that would distract them from the thing they want them to be upset about. They don't want them putting the wrong flags or talking about the wrong slaughters or whatever, right? So I don't know. It's all fairly depressing, isn't it, really? Just how stupid and gullible and impressionable people are. How easily manipulated people are. It's quite depressing. Do we want to do this one right now? What are we, 2 hours and 35 minutes in? Let's see. I'm starting to think this is a ruse to get people to watch the WNBA. Okay, let's check this one out. So what's happening here? Hold on.
What rolls downstairs, a loner in pairs, and makes a buzzity sound. It's long, it's long, a marvelous dong. Everyone knows it's dildo, it's dildo, it's dildo. It's big, it's fleshy, it's ribbed. It's dildo, it's dildo. Yes, that's right, it's ribbed.
We all saw that, right? Somebody threw that onto the court. How long do people have to pretend to like the WNBA for? Like, certainly at some point, surely, like, they'll just say, hey, you don't have to pretend to like this anymore. It's okay, everybody. Trudeau Survivor says, you missed Sydney Sweeney at the gun range. No, we did not. You missed it, sir. You missed it.
Check this for your first day.
Hey, eyes up here.
Wow.
9:21.
Oh my God, girl. Was it your first time? That was really good.
You're going dog nuts. I mean,
Ready, girl.
Yes.
We talked about this at length and how Sydney Sweeney is the new George Washington. So anyway, let's see. What's going on? Hold on a second. Let's go back to the chat for a second here. Let's see. Radio Streamer says Bill Maher is a follow the money asshat. His money motivates him. I don't know. I think he's just confused. Personally, my feeling is he's so tied into to political fashion that it's just been so ingrained into him just from being like a Hollywood person for so long that, there's just something so distasteful about just the word conservative or Republican that he just has a hard time. It's like a mental block. Judo Survivor says, I was expecting the pregnant lady to pull a basketball out from her dress. I wondered that too, actually. Maybe not basketball, but I wonder if she's going to pull something out from her dress and like bash that guy over the head or something. Let's see. Rogue Thought says, hey, chat, way late. Did I miss any more Sweeney hysterics? There was some good stuff. Well, it was that gun range thing was the main thing, but we spent a lot of time on that, I have to say. Nobody asked, does anyone even watch the WNBA? I mean, voluntarily? I don't know. All right. Let's get back to it again. Let's try and wrap this thing up. Let's see. Parrot impersonation show. Well, this is fun. This is what we call a palate cleanser. A parrot palate cleanser.
Water noise.
They are funny little strange creatures, aren't they? Very smart. Let's see. This one I'm going to save for tomorrow for obvious reasons. Lily Tang Williams. So she is like super anti-CCP, and she's trying to warn Americans about CCP infiltration and influence all of the time. And I guess she's running for Congress. Let's hear what she has to say.
Hi, this is Lily Tang Williams running for Congress in New Hampshire. Today is my birthday. I received the most wonderful present from my team, Lily, volunteers, and my husband too. They all made a video to say happy birthday to me. And I'm asking Granny Staters, my supporters and patriots all over the country, could you donate $5-10 to support my congressional campaign? I'm running against Maggie Goulander, who has tons of money from Soros and Clintons, and I'm a grassroots candidate. Average donors is $35. I would really appreciate if you can show your support today on my birthday. Thank you.
It's so demented that somebody like this, who is trying to warn Americans about the dangers of far leftist ideology, somebody who knows a lot about the CCP, has to struggle to get funding against a race communist who's got tons of money from like George Soros. That's so crazy. That's so wrong. It's actually madness, isn't it? It's madness. But anyway, she's great. So I thought this was really interesting. So this is the way you handle it. If somebody's crapping on Western civilization, talking about slavery or something, this is like a lesson in how to handle yourself and how to approach it, right? This is posted by James Lindsay, anti-communist. Konstantin Kisin demonstrates exactly how we can and should be proud of our culture in front of a very hostile crowd. So he's one half of trigonometry, and he's gone viral for a bunch of speeches that he's done and a bunch of responses that he's had because he's very good. He's very sharp. Let's take a look.
Let's be very clear. The reason there is no slavery in the world today, I mean, there's a lot of slavery in the world today, but in the parts of the world where there's no slavery, is because the British Empire ended it. That's why there is no slavery.
So that's a fact claim, and you hear the audience. They're not happy about it, right? But it's just simply a statement of fact, an accurate description of reality. Yeah, in case you didn't know, the left doesn't like reality too much.
That is so. Well, look, the fact that you are uneducated about history doesn't mean it's funny. So let me educate you now. I know that the woke narrative and the anti-Western narrative on slavery. Oh, you're not practicing free speech very well, are you? You're not practicing free speech very well, are you? The moment I say something you don't like, you're not practicing free speech very well, are you, sir?
Thank you.
I thought you were all about free speech. How about you let me finish my point?
Let's finish the point, and then I'm going to... And then I will
the
bring
woke
it to
narrative and the anti-Western narrative on slavery is there was no slavery, and then the British or the Americans came along and they started slavery. Slaves were the first good that were ever traded between human beings. Ever. They were the first good ever traded. Native Americans had slaves, Ottomans had slaves, African had slaves. Everybody had slaves. The reason there is no slavery in the West is the British Empire, having practiced slavery for a long time, like everybody else, ended it. Not only that, the British Empire then spent a tremendous amount of blood and treasure to force the Middle Eastern slave traders, with the trans-Saharan slave trade being much worse than the transatlantic slave trade. In terms of the number of people who were killed, in terms of the way that they were treated, in terms of how long it lasted, it was much worse. And we spent a tremendous amount of blood and treasure to stop it. That's the true history of slavery.
See how hard they see their response to reality, right? To truth. The moderator there is not helping at all. She keeps interrupting him instead of letting him just speak. They are so opposed to reality because reality gets in the way. Because guess what? When woke comes into conflict with reality, reality just has a much better argument. And in the end, it's going to win because it's just real, right? Like reality has the benefit of being real. And real is something you can only have the luxury of ignoring for so long, because you'll end up hurting yourself if you do. Nevada says, the bitch keeps talking over him. Yes, she's not a big fan of him, apparently, accurately describing reality, accurately describing history. They hate it. They don't want to hear it. They refuse to acknowledge it. Right? They just shut it down. Rubbish. It's not rubbish. It's real. They probably know it's real as well, but it's not. It doesn't help the revolution. It's counter-revolutionary. So, and don't forget, with the left, it's by any means necessary. By any means necessary. This is why they want censorship. This is why they want hate speech laws. So what he just said they can categorize as hate and then ban. That's the goal. He doesn't go mad, edgy, or wild, speaks firmly and tells the truth. He does, and they sure don't like it. Let's see. G. Van Fleet. We need to push back on woke nonsense whenever we see it. When I visited Gunston Hall last Thursday, I saw some Chinese vases in George Mason's dining room. The tour guide remarked apologetically it was sad Mason appreciated them without honoring Chinese culture. I told her, where did that just go? I told her you can admire the beauty of an object without having to honor the culture behind it. She looked surprised. Hope she gets more pushback like mine. This constantly apologizing for nothing. It just has to end. It just for the sake that it's so boring. All right. What are you guys saying? Rosie says, Richie, now I know why you do not let us speak. That way we cannot interrupt you. Of course. Of course we are not woke. We will not interrupt. Still. Let's see. Fingers in ears yelling, nah, for broke thought there. Yep, exactly. Raider Sherman says, I want to hand him a hand mic to drop. Yeah, he nailed it. Ottawa James, how you doing? More facts. Let's see. What is going on here? Rogue Thought says, I always listen to a person who has fled from communism. The details are just as horrific. Yeah. You know where in Germany, all of the socialism is in West Germany. This is irony, right? All the socialism is in West Germany, and then the part that was East Germany, they all hate communism. So, like you see this, like North Korea, South Korea, right? I don't know, which one do you want? Let's see. I don't know what James says. That's the leftoid way. Yeah, fingers and ears yelling, no. They're not interested in reality. They don't want it. It just stands in the way of their goals. Radio Sherman says, of course not, Rosie. He interrupts our chat, not the other way around. That it does happen. Half the time I look and you guys are just talking about food or something, Whatever. Don't care. Let's see. Rogue Thought says, truth hates the revolution. It does. That last hour was hilarious. What it says. Let's see. All right. Rosie says, it seems woke people have a problem listening even to those who fled communism. Those are the people they want to avoid the most, actually. Because they can't just tell them to do their research, because their research was their life, right? So they fear them the most. What's this? This one we should wait for tomorrow for the premium stream. Laziest fight ever. Yeah, dogs are great. I'm mad at you, but I'm also tired. Let's see. Did I cover this one, the machete thing? Did I go on a long rant about this? in the last stream about the machete drop boxes in Australia. I kind of feel like I seem to remember going off on a rant about this, but maybe it was just me like doing a rant in my mind before the stream. I can't remember. Did I go on the rant about this? I'm not sure. I think I did. You know what? You did that. Radio Services, I did that. Okay, good. I think it was a good rant. I should make that one as a clip video. In fact, I'll do that tonight maybe. Community notes a violation. So wake up next to me or $500,000 in your bank. $500,000 in my bank. Thank you very much. Yeah, no, I don't need you. $500,000 in my bank. It's fine. I've had one night stands with beautiful women, and I think I'd rather have the $500,000 in my bank account. Thank you very much. Yeah, no. I'll take the money. Nope, the money. Is it in that briefcase there? Can I just take that? Thank you. Have a lovely afternoon. She probably is AI, actually. But no, I mean, what even kind of question is this? Wake up next to me or $500,000 in your bank. No, I'll take the $500,000. Obviously, I don't have to think about it. Yes, everybody, Radio Streamer, 500,000, Rosie, 500,000, everybody, 500,000. Like, what a weird question. Like total narcissism. I guess it's bait, I guess. Rambot says, I'll take money. Rogue thought, with 500,000, I could get 1,000 like her. With 500,000, you could get yourself one of those new lifelike sex bots and just give them her picture, and then they just make it for you. There you go. All right. Anyway, not that I approve of that. Let's see this video. So this is just, a blast from the past. This video is a great representation of the MSM and government over the past decade. Lie. We need to protect you from disinformation. Lest we never forget.
Of it is that the Trump campaign didn't just benefit from Russia interfering in our presidential campaign. The point of this is they colluded, they helped, they were in on it. This is kind of a real story. The connections between the Trump servers and the Alpha Bank servers were real. They were covert communications that someone was trying to hide, that the Trump organization and Alpha Bank appear to have been trying to hide. Now we know that the vaccines work well enough that the virus stops with every vaccinated person. A vaccinated person gets exposed to the virus does not infect them. The virus cannot then use that person to go anywhere else. It cannot use a vaccinated person as a host to go get more people. We and other news organizations have generally stopped giving an unfiltered live platform to remarks by former President Trump. It is not out of spite. It is not a decision that we relish. It is a decision that we regularly revisit. And honestly, earnestly, it is not an easy decision, but there is a cost to us as a news organization of knowingly broadcasting untrue things. That is a fundamental truth of our business and who we are.
My God, it is surreal. It's incredible. Like, yeah, lie. We need to protect you from disinformation. It really is surreal. Like, 2024, she's saying that. 2024, she's saying she needs to protect people from, like, she knows everything she'd been talking about was bullshit, was false. She was misinforming her viewers. For years, she knew that by this point. By 2024, she knew that beyond any doubt. I think you just have to say a bad person, right? A bad person. And they're still doing it. You have to keep in mind, there are dozens of people every day being misinformed by MSNBC. Their ratings aren't going so good these days. Let's see. Hold on a second. Oh, my God. It happened again. Spambot Fodder just gifted the third subscription gifted today, this time to Ottawa James 63. the third gifted subscription to Radio Baloney today from Spambot Fodder. That means Spambot Fodder is not just the best person ever to live. He's not just the best person ever to live times 2. Spambot Fodder, and believe me on this, is the best person to ever live times 3. Whatever historical figure you admire from in the past, today, whoever it is, human garbage times 3 compared to Spambot Fodder. What a beautiful thing this is. I'm glad everybody was here to see this, to witness this, because you'll all remember this. Beautiful. Thank you, Spambot. And it is an awesome thing to do for the channel. It's the best thing anybody can do for the channel is to give memberships. It's awesome. Thank you very much, Spambot. As always, a wonderful thing and a good time for all. All right. I hope you're all inspired by that. By Spambot's just kind of innate decency and kindness. And I would say almost infinite compassion, I would say. Let's do it one more time. And it also has the benefit of appealing to my greed just a tiny little bit. Let's see. What's going on here? Are we still talking? Hold on. Let's go. So we were on this lady here, who's probably AI, who was the question of wake up next to me or $500,000 in your bank. I immediately $500,000. Thank you. No, I'll just take the money. Thank you very much. JJ Nevada made this kind of, I would say, very sophisticated observation here. 500K buys a lot of pussy. And then Trudeau Survivor said, depends if she's an organ donor. I mean, if it's just about the selling the organs, I think that's actually even more than 500,000. But what I mean, I don't know. You're not the CCP. She's not in a Yazidi concentration camp. All right. I just gave myself a stitch from laughing at your guys' jokes too much. Hold on, I got to stretch out. There we go. Okay, I think that's better. Let's see. All right. Depends if she's an organ donor. That went dark. That got real dark. Let's see. All right, I'm going to skip to the end here a little bit. All right, you guys. Prototype robot of BS peddling. Are you talking about Maddo there, Rogue Thought? Prototype robot of BS peddling? Yes, I think you're right. I think just soulless, totally soulless, I think, is the problem. Rosie says, maybe Rachel Maddow. Some people call her Rachel Mad Cow. I would never say that. But Rosie says, maybe Rachel Mad Cow is AI now. Why not? Honestly, why not? Just make her AI, right? I mean, it's not, nobody thinks she's like genuine in any way anyway. And I doubt that our audience would care as long as they hear what they want. All right. Anyway, let's move on. I'm going to save this one for a premium tomorrow too. That way I don't have to do too much work before the stream. And we're going for 3 hours, people. So, I don't know, this is awful. St. Paul, Minnesota, an Islamic center in Minnesota recently wrote a community support letter on behalf of 41-year-old Kwalinle Ibrahim Diri, a Somali immigrant who abducted and R-worded a 12-year-old girl. The letter written to ask the judge to consider a lighter sentence for him, characterized him as a devoted family man, stating that starting over in a new culture was one of the challenges he had to face in the U.S. It is insular, and they don't think he did anything wrong. So they didn't think he did anything wrong, and their culture is insular, so it's tribal. So they're not concerned about rule of law. So, everybody has the same rules. They don't care about that. Right? It's all about tribalism. So he's part of their tribe, so he should be protected. If he does something horrific to somebody outside of the tribe, he is still to be protected. It doesn't matter. Those people don't matter. They're not concerned with rule of law. Right? I'm not saying every single Muslim person. I'm saying that when you see that the culture is different and clearly, okay, you have this community putting out this letter. There's enough support for it that they're doing this. This should be a warning to you, right? This is tribalism, right? He is part of our tribe. You are not. So what he does to you doesn't matter. And we don't even think he did anything wrong in the first place. This is not how Western civilization works. This is not how you have a high trust society or any trust in your society. This is how you build colonies in your culture that are going to be divisive, and they're going to be self-interested, and they are going to struggle for power against you. And nothing could be clearer, I don't think, right? This is not assimilation. This is not assimilation. And to think about exposing this, like exposing what your real interest is kind of frightening to me, to be honest. Like, this should be a concern. This is clearly not a good thing. Let's take a look.
This is Savannah Hernandez standing in front of the Al Hassan Islamic Center in St. Paul, Minnesota. Now, I'm standing here because this mosque has made national headlines after they penned a letter of community support for a Somali immigrant who sexually assaulted a 12-year-old. Now, back in 2024, this perpetrator was charged after abducting a 12-year-old from her backyard, forcing her into his vehicle, and then sexually assaulting her. He has since been convicted of first-degree criminal sexual assault. Now, after being convicted, his family members were sending letters to the judge to ask the judge to consider his character when making that sentencing. And one of those letters came from the Al Hassan Islamic Center. It was actually signed by their executive director, stating that he had to face cultural differences and the challenges of taking on a new culture. They also framed him as a family-oriented man who sends his money oftentimes back to his family members in Somalia. The judge actually gave him the lightest sentencing possible. He is only going to be serving 8 years in jail for this crime. He was sentenced to 12 years, but those last 4 years are going to be spent out of jail and on probation. By the way, going back to that point about the challenges of a different culture, this perpetrator has been in the United States of America since 2006. So he's been in the United States for 19 years. He was born in Somalia, but he has been here for almost 2 decades at this point. However, the culture coming into play when it comes to, as the Islamic Center put it, the situation, of course, being him sexually assaulting and abducting a 12-year-old girl. So just wanted to give you guys an idea of some of these stories, some of the cultural impact happening here in Minnesota as it relates to the Somali community.
So when enough local power is achieved, nothing will happen to him. And their own holy books tell them that he didn't actually do anything wrong anyway. And on top of all of that, again, it's tribal. They're tribal, right? They're not interested in equal rules for everybody. That is, they're clearly not interested in that. Tribe is above rule of law. So this should just be very frightening. How do you not see something like this and go, okay, something is wrong here? There's something very wrong here. Okay, maybe we need to take a serious look at this. Let's see. A Sydney City Council removed free weights from the Bondi Beach public gym due to fears that the outdoor gym was a bro area full of testosterone. The story perfectly captures the state of Australian society today. So Australia now is just a matriarchy, like Canada. Canada's a matriarchy. I think the UK is a matriarchy now. The patriarchy has been replaced with the matriarchy. And if you want your society to fall, you will do stuff like this. You'll demonize testosterone, right? You'll disempower men. If you want a failed society, that's what you will do. It's quite weird. You'll feminize the men in your own society and culture, and then weirdly what they do is import actual patriarchies, right? Like they're obsessed with importing as many men from actual patriarchies with genuinely patriarchal, like medieval patriarchal beliefs. It's weird, right? It's weird. Is that why, 50 Shades of Grey sold more copies than the Bible and it's all women buying it? There seems to be some confusion happening, some cognitive dissonance or something. I don't know. Anyway, well, let's go back to the chat for a second. Hold on. Let's see. Hold on. Wait a second. Did it happen again? Did it happen again? My God, it happened again. Is this the fourth time? Wait a second. Oh my God, it happened again. Spambot fodder. Is that the fourth time now Spambot fodder is gifted a subscription? And this time to Drama Sieves? My good God. Spambot Fodder has now gifted 4 memberships to lucky people in the chat, which I think is, again, I think it's probably the most thoughtful and decent and kind, and maybe, dare I say, the most human thing a person can ever do. It's certainly, a mark of sophistication and intelligence, I will say. And to do it 4 times, that's really saying something. I wasn't even sure it was possible. I mean, it's obviously a very beautiful thing. It's probably the most beautiful part of nature that I've ever witnessed. It's a wonderful thing. Spambot, I think you've earned this. So I want to be clear on this. Spambot is, whoever, anybody out there watching right now, whoever you think of as being maybe the best person ever, somebody you've really ever admired or looked up to or done something exceptional that you really, really admired, whoever that person is you're thinking of is literally human garbage compared to Spambot fodder. I mean, not just that, but 4 times over better. Like, all for less than the cost of a brand new Elon Musk Starship. I mean, it's really astonishing. I want to say again, it really is the best thing anybody can do for the channel. And thank you, Spambot. It's awesome. Drama Sieves is very lucky. Very lucky indeed. I hope you appreciate how lucky you are. Let's see. Trudeau Suarez says that's Spambot's 4th best person ever. I know. And I bet you it feels real good. Let's see. All right. Let's see. So what are you guys saying? Let's see. Nawad is saying Muhammad married a 6-year-old, but he only used, a streamer says they only used her thighs until, I thought it was 9. Rogue Thought says the problem is the overarching culture should be American. Nevada says until 9. Then streamer says 9. But anyway, young, just not acceptable in the modern world, at least in the modern Western world. You wouldn't think. Radio Streamer says that I actually read some of the book to my sister. She laughed and then I pulled it up. She did not care. Mind rot. They just don't want to know. They don't want to know. Judo Survivor says cultural differences. Yeah. Peggy Spence says his jewels need to be removed and deported. Yeah, why do you want that in your society? I mean, this is it's barbarism. JDL says university and college professors should invite them into their homes, but they don't, though. It's weird. Do you remember when, where was it, Martha's Vineyard, where the Texas shipped up a bunch of illegal immigrants to them, and they were out of there that afternoon. They got them out real quick, and then all went on voting for it, but for other people. Rogue Thought says gynocentric culture. Yes, 100%. All right, I got to skip to the end here. Let's see. Radio Streamer says, how many until he, Spambot F. Otter, is presumed best person that will ever live after 1,000 subs? 1,000's a good number. It's a good round number. Hold on 1 second. Let's see. Streamer says, and I replied, that's like a person on welfare voting on welfare. Radio Streamer, where did that? Okay, I can't go back far enough to find that. Let's see. Rosie says, person on welfare voting for welfare. Good one, Radio Streamer. Well, that's just reality, isn't it? Right? So, like, if people vote to be on welfare. Let's see. What's going on? Okay. All right. My brain's starting to turn into a block of wood. Let us see what we got going on next. So this is on topic. Alexander Duncan posted this. Why Islam aligns with the left. So I guess this is a guy who used to be an extremist, and now he's just telling people how stupid they are.
A paradox. In America, we have a political left. It's a progressive left. As you know, it's sexually permissive. And this political movement appears strangely allied with radical Islam. Can you explain this?
When I was an extremist, Islamist, fundamentalist, I would only vote left.
Why is that?
I saw them as very stupid. I would fear the conservatives because they come with principle. That's not someone they can brainwash. But the left, I know they have no values and no principles to begin with. I dare you to find one Islamic extremist that votes for Donald Trump. Never do it. They'd give their vote to the leftist who wants to run around in pride parades. And Islamic extremists are against gays and homosexuals and transgenders, but they want the left to go and get busy with that. They want them, go speak about the climate, go speak about abortion, go kill yourselves, go do that. And Omar, she's fighting for abortion rights and all the other, my body, my choice. Yes, go do that, But would she have an abortion? Never. Never. Would she kill a Muslim in her stomach? Never.
What is the fundamentalist and jihadi agenda for America?
The future of America has to be Muslim.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, you see clip after clip of the imams in the United States and Canada just saying that openly because they can, right? Because they know that our cultures are weak now. So, I mean, I don't know. Like when people are telling you what they want to do, I think you should believe them. All right, this is an oldie but goodie. Let's take a look at this. Eddie Murphy. I remember rolling watching this. Was this Delirious? I think this was Delirious. Remember rolling, just laughing the whole thing, like the entire stand-up thing. Let's watch.
Here's a joke that you can tell down at school when school starts. A bear and a rabbit are taking a shit in the woods. And the bear turns to the rabbit and says, "Excuse me, do you have problems with shit sticking to your fur?" And the rabbit says, "No." So the bear wiped his ass with the rabbit.
My 10-year, I don't know, probably 10 years old watching that, just the whole thing. And then Raw came out, and I loved that one just as much. Just rolling to the whole thing. But I remember that joke in particular, finding that absolutely hilarious. Let's see. Why is the FBI harassing a 12-year-old minding his business at home? Well, this is a really interesting one. And I do want to go into deeper and just find out, is this true? What the hell's going on with this? But we just don't have time tonight. We'll have to do it next time. What's going on here? So Bill Maher may have just ended CNN Aaron Burnett's career over her possibly white comment. So yes, so here Bill Maher is commenting on, I think we've all seen the clip now, where CNN, they're showing the guy on the screen and they say, well, he's possibly white, clearly not a white man, but they're just their head is so far up their own ideological arse that they just can't help it. And here's Bill Maher making fun of that. Will he ever abandon the left? I don't know, but he criticizes them a lot.
But she did describe the gunman as possibly white, which I do want to talk about after I do this bit. Anyway, so this phrase, possibly white, has really caught on, and people want to know, am I possibly white? So we put together some indications, if you'd like to hear, if you want to find out if you are possibly white. Okay, here's how you know if you are possibly white. If you find yourself nodding your head to the Wells Fargo hold music, you are possibly white. If you've ever waited in line for an artisanal chocolate chip cookie, you are possibly white. If you ever used the phrase, my cheese guy, you are possibly white. If you're married to a black person in a Subaru ad, you are possibly white. You're probably white. If you've ever tried to heal someone with a crystal, okay, you're possibly right. If you jog in place at an intersection until the light changes, you are very possibly white. If you take your mistress to see Coldplay, you are very, very possibly white.
So I didn't actually watch that before. So I thought he was going to go in on the insanity of CNN there. So, but I mean, that was actually fairly funny, right? It was actually fairly funny, but you know, the words possibly white, right? It's aspirational. It's like they hope CNN was hoping he was white. Right, they would never say possibly black or possibly Asian. It's just like, well, maybe he is, maybe he's white. We hope he's white. It's just it's just gross. All right. Let's see. Is there anything that we missed in here? Sometimes stuff just goes missing from this. Let's see. Let's see. Let's go through and just see. Sometimes things just kind of disappear from this. There's a few things in here that we're not looking at because I want to save them for tomorrow night. So I've got something to do tomorrow. Let's see. Yeah, I want to save that. And yeah, I think we got everything. All right, we're good. All right, we'll just do the last bit of chat and then we'll call it a night. We're 3 hours and 20 minutes in, so. Trudeau Survivor says Carney still has plans bringing in 2 million immigrants per year, 5% of the population. I know we covered that earlier in the stream, actually. He's on par for 2.4 million this year, 2.4, which, again, I've been saying this since the campaign. Mark Carney is, since before the election campaign, that Mark Carney is going to be Turbo Trudeau. So everything you hated about Trudeau, everything that everybody hated about Trudeau is going to be on overdrive with Carney, and that has proved to be true. So in terms of immigration, that's what it's looking like. In terms of spending, that's what it's looking like. In terms of just being basically incompetent, that's what it's looking like as well. So, yeah, good luck to us, I guess. All right. Let's see. RPW says, how you doing? Canadians are being displaced and replaced with foreigners. It was happening in America until Trump stopped it. Yes, that's what's happening. Yeah. I don't understand. Like, there's no rationale behind it. There's nothing that makes sense. We don't have jobs for them. We don't have places for them to live. Right? It is overburdening everything, every bit of infrastructure in the country. It's affecting healthcare. It's affecting literally everything. And they just keep doing it. It's not a mistake. They're not misguided. They're doing it for a reason. Rogue Thought says it's happening in every Western nation except now in the U.S. Yeah. Yep. Let's see. Bad Uncle Frank says, if you ever paid your taxes to feed a bunch of ingrates, it's not the best feeling, is it? Judo Survivor says, currently something like 1 in 5 Canadians were not born in Canada. It's at such a pace, there's no hope on even assimilating people, right? It's just it's madness, and it's a plan. I mean, look, it's every Western country. It's every Western country. It's not just an accident, right? I mean, you have this singular figure, Trump, who's been able to put a stop to it in the United States. But even like in the UK, they had a conservative government for 14 years, and immigration went up under them. So it's every Western country, and I don't believe it's all just a big coincidence. They all get together and meet up in Davos every year, and this is what they talk about. And it's ideological, and it's ideological on a level that they're not telling their voters. Let's see. Rosie says, my genes are possibly white. I have made artisan chocolate chip cookies and artisan chocolate truffles. The best ones had cayenne in them. Boy, that does sound good, doesn't it? Let's see. Nevada says, I want to hear about the 12-year-old nuclear kid. We're going to have to do it next time. Let's see. Trudeau Survivor. I asked Google AI. It said in 2021, 23% of Canada's population was foreign born. Let's see. JDL says, good stream tonight. Anybody who's not subscribed to the channel, subscribe right now. Just go ahead and do that right now. Also, liking the stream. Get that free good karma. In these troubled times, can you really afford to just turn your back on that, the good karma? I don't think you can. I'm not saying something bad's going to happen to you. I'm just saying, something bad's probably going to happen to you if you don't. Save yourself, people. Let's see. Radio Shimmer says, hope you all have a good night. Yeah, we're going to be closing shop in a couple of minutes. Ottawa James says, we can either laugh or cry. Yes, exactly. Well, I don't think it's too late yet. I think that I think something still can be done. Let's see. RPW says, Carney's just a puppet for the Chicoms and globalists. Well, let's see. China and Canada were the only countries that had retaliatory tariffs. Why is that? Why? It's just an awful coincidence, isn't it? With all of Carney and the Liberal Party's connections to the Chinese Communist Party. I mean, come on. It's obvious, isn't it? How could it be more obvious? All right. Rogue Thought says it's the destruction of cultures to unmoor people. Yeah, I think that's fairly obvious. And it's all in the goal. I think that the goal is globally for the Chinese system. I think that Western governments, I think the EU, I think leftists everywhere look with envy at the Chinese system, and they lust after that and that level of control. And I think that's what they want. I think that is the goal, to keep moving us towards that. Rosie says, who can join Premium Streamerchi? Anyone with Rumble Premium. And I thought that it was anybody who's a channel member, but I'm hearing some people can't, are channel members and haven't. I don't know. It might be that like if the channel membership expired at the end of the month, but I don't know. Maybe you guys, anybody's not a premium member. Everybody's a premium member. Yeah, join us tomorrow night. But anybody who's a channel member, and I think there's about 20 of you now, see if you can get on tomorrow. And if not through Rumble, see if you can get on through locals, and then let me know afterwards, or maybe put it in the comments of the stream tomorrow. So that would be helpful. All right, everybody. What is it? It's getting late. All right, everybody have a great. I hope everybody had a great weekend. First off, thanks everybody in the chat. Thanks, Spambot. It's awesome. 4 new memberships. Awesome. That's great for the channel. I appreciate that. Everybody in the chat, you guys are awesome. You guys are fun. I think you were in good form tonight. And yeah, let's all meet up again tomorrow. And have a great sleep, everyone. We'll see you tomorrow, 6 o'clock Pacific, 9 o'clock Eastern time. It'll be a premium only stream. Good night. Good night.